After my CEO wife went bankrupt, everyone thought I'd take the money and run. Because even though I am handsome, I am all about the money. Every day, I'd take my CEO wife's money just to eat, drink, and party. But now, I want to help her rebuild her empire. When that time comes, even if a little wealth slips through her fingers, wouldn't he achieve total financial freedom? But who would have thought? My CEO wife's bankruptcy was actually a fake. By the time I transmigrated into this novel, it was already the grand finale. The beautiful female CEO was the villainess who had just been defeated by the female lead. I still remember the final paragraph written about her. The only thing Bai Ningbing had left was the husband lying in that bedroom, along with his expensive clothes and watches. But Bai Ningbing herself knew that this man, who never paid her any mind unless he was asking for money, would soon pack up his watches and clothes and leave. In the end, she would be left with absolutely nothing. I rubbed my temples, thinking about my bankrupt CEO wife, and let out a soft sigh. Ever since we got married, Bai Ningbing has treated me very well. Now I actually feel bad. I can't bear to take the money and run when she's hit rock bottom. At the very least, I should wait until she has a steady income or a new career. After taking a moment to gather my thoughts, I stood up and started cleaning the messy room. It took me 3 whole hours just to stuff all my belongings into a corner of my room. Now, the stuff is piled high in the room. There are over 100 watches and more than 80 outfits. Right now, I just wish I could trade all these clothes for watches. After all, watches are way easier to sell than clothes. By the time I woke up, it was already 2 p.m. Rubbing my grumbling stomach, I rummaged through the wallet on the coffee table. Sure enough, I found an ID card, a bank card, and 700 yuan. I didn't even bother checking the kitchen. We just moved in 2 days ago, and neither of us knows how to cook. So the kitchen is definitely empty. I had to go find some food myself. Fortunately, even though the place Bai Ningbing rented isn't big, the apartment complex is pretty nice, and there are tons of restaurants downstairs. I strolled downstairs and grabbed a quick bowl of noodles, remembering how bare the bathroom looked earlier, with barely any personal care items. I took a trip to the supermarket and brought back a huge bag of daily necessities. I even bought Bai Ningbing's share for her. The colors and styles were all picked based on her preferences from my memories. Next, I started cleaning the house. I turned the doorknob and walked into Bai Ningbing's room. I found that inside, aside from a bookshelf and a few more items on the desk, there was only a bed and some basic essentials. He sighed helplessly. It must be so hard for a woman who used to live in the lap of luxury to endure a life like this. I looked around the room and got to work cleaning. Time ticked by, minute by minute. By the time I finished cleaning the whole room, it was already 10 p.m. Feeling satisfied, I washed up, set my late-night snack on the coffee table, and got ready to dig in. Just as I opened the packaging and was about to take my first bite, the sound of the front door opening echoed through the room. I froze and looked up, meeting a pair of eyes as clear as autumn water. The woman at the door stared at me expressionlessly as her gaze casually swept across the room. A flash of surprise crossed her eyes. Her gaze then returned to me. At the same time, I was also sizing her up. She was an incredibly gorgeous woman, truly worthy of all the flowery words the author used to describe her. Feeling Bai Ningbing's stare, I unconsciously gripped my chopsticks tighter, suddenly feeling nervous. After all, I am just a fake. Would someone like Bai Ningbing really not notice that something was off about her husband? Those eyes of hers made me feel like I couldn't hide anything from her. Did you hire a maid? Do you still have enough money? Her tone was calm, carrying a hint of scrutiny. I instinctively shook my head. No, I cleaned it myself. You cleaned it? Yeah, I did it myself. Bai Ningbing looked completely shocked. As she stared at me, we looked at each other for a moment, before Bai Ningbing looked away first. Do you have enough money? I have enough. What about you? I asked back out of habit. As soon as I said it, I regretted it a little. This counter question made Bai Ningbing look over in surprise again. Then, she slowly opened her mouth. I have enough. After that, we both fell into silence. Bai Ningbing, I looked at the food I was eating on the table, and suddenly blurted out, I am sorry. Before I could even react, I looked up, following her gaze, and hurriedly shook my head. No, you have nothing to apologize for. Bai Ningbing walked over and sat down on the sofa opposite me. She hesitated for a moment before speaking. The asset issues have basically been sorted out. All the assets under my name have been confiscated, even though I have nothing left. I am not in debt either. You don't need to worry about any debts. Right now, I only have 30,000 yuan left. Once I finish dealing with all this, I'll try to start making money as soon as possible. You should still have 60,000 yuan on your card. I've already paid half a year's rent in advance for this place. If you want a divorce, I'll give you another 20,000 yuan. Until you find a new place to rent, you can stay here. I understood perfectly well. Bai Ningbing had already done more than enough for me. Our total combined assets right now were only 90,000 yuan. If we divorced, she was willing to give me 80,000 yuan of it, and she was even letting me stay here. She definitely wouldn't ask for the watches and clothes back either. That meant she'd be left with nothing but a room and a measly 10,000 yuan. Seeing my silence, Bai Ningbing added, the money I make in the future, I'll set aside a portion to give you every month. At least 3,000 yuan a month. Is that okay? Since I don't know what my situation will be like, this is all I can promise for now. If I ever get the chance to rebuild my career, I'll make it up to you. I hurriedly shook my head in refusal. Seeing me shake my head, Bai Ningbing's demeanor sank into silence. I realized that my reaction just now might have caused a misunderstanding, so I quickly explained, No, that's not it. I don't want a divorce, and I don't need you to give me money either. Don't worry, I still have enough to spend. I've already accepted reality. From now on, I'll be more frugal. I'll even start making my own money. You don't need to put so much pressure on yourself. A normal person really doesn't spend that much in a month anyway. You don't want a divorce? But didn't you say yesterday? That's when I remembered. Yesterday, I really was furious. I called Bai Ningbing useless and demanded a divorce. My face stiffened. I was just really drunk at the time. I didn't mean it. I've thought it through. I can't divorce you at a time like this. We're already married after all. From now on, I'll share the burden of our livelihood. You don't need to worry about me. Supporting myself won't be a problem. Hell, I might even be able to support you. As soon as I finished speaking, Bai Ningbing looked at me with an even weirder expression, but she didn't say anything else. If you don't want a divorce, then forget it. Whenever you do want one, just let me know. Bai Ningbing stood up and went to the bathroom to wash her face. I awkwardly lowered my head and continued eating. I heard Bai Ningbing step into the bathroom, and her footsteps paused for a few seconds. She must have noticed that I cleaned it up, a stark contrast to the mess it was before. Then, the sound of running water echoed out. By the time I finished eating, Bai Ningbing had finished washing up and walked out. There was no awkward encounter like I had imagined. Thank you. You should get some sleep early too. I scratched my head. It felt like I was dreaming. I gathered my thoughts for a moment, then went to wash up as well. Afterward, I went back to my room, opened my laptop, and registered a personal storefront on a secondhand marketplace. Once everything was set up, I finally shut down the computer and went to sleep. Early the next morning, I woke up at 6:30 out of habit and started prepping the ingredients I bought yesterday. After putting a pot of porridge on the stove, I went downstairs to buy some steamed buns and fried dough sticks. When I got back, Bai Ningbing just happened to open her door and walk out. Hearing the front door open, she looked up at the breakfast in my hands and subconsciously rubbed her eyes. She probably thought she was seeing things. Good morning. I bought breakfast, and I am cooking some porridge too. Hurry up and go wash up. After saying that, I walked into the kitchen to check on the porridge, ignoring Bai Ningbing's shocked stare behind me. Since we both stayed up late, I specifically made red bean and juju porridge to replenish our energy. The porridge was simmering nicely, so I scooped out 2 bowls, plated the steamed buns and fried dough sticks, boiled some eggs, and prepared some pickled veggies. When Bai Ningbing stepped out of the bathroom, she was greeted by the sight of the dining table, laid out with what you could call a hearty breakfast. This scene was clearly very warm and cozy, but Bai Ningbing didn't feel that way at all. She knew her husband too well. In the 3 years they'd been married, I had never once stepped into the kitchen or done any chores. The only thing I knew how to do was spend money and shop. Even the background check she did before the wedding never mentioned that I knew how to do any of this. Bai Ningbing was filled with doubt. Was he just faking it all this time? We used to have servants and a maid, so I never really lifted a finger. Now that it's just the 2 of us, and we're out of money, I am a bit embarrassed to eat out. My cooking isn't exactly gourmet, but it's edible enough. If you don't mind, you can come home for meals from now on. So, when Grandpa asked if you knew how to cook, were you lying to him? Bai Ningbing said as she took a spoonful of porridge. I froze for a second, then laughed it off. My skills can't compare to a professional maid. I figured Grandpa is used to delicacies, so I didn't want to embarrass myself by showing off in front of a master. That excuse was just barely believable. Bai Ningbing nodded. Actually, the taste isn't bad at all. Watching her eat with her usual elegance, I suddenly realized something. For someone who grew up on gourmet food and refined taste to eat such a simple meal, it really must be hard on her. After finishing the meal, Bai Ningbing moved to help take the dishes to the kitchen. He quickly stopped her. It's fine. I'll take care of the cleanup. I'll do the dishes. Go ahead and do whatever you need to do. The assets haven't been fully settled yet. I probably won't be back until this evening. Don't worry about me. Call me if anything comes up. Once Bai Ningbing walked out the door, I finally felt a bit of relief. I thought to myself, even if this woman has fallen from grace, that noble aura of hers is impossible to hide. That invisible pressure just keeps lingering. If I hadn't been through so much in my past life, I might not have been able to handle her. I have a lot to do today as well. Not only do I need to buy things for the house, but I also need to take photos of those watches and clothes to sell them online. I did a quick estimate. With this much stuff, selling it all should net over 1,000,000 yuan. By then, whatever Bai Ningbing wants to do, shall at least have some startup capital. Besides that, I need to study the internet users in this world and consider going back to my old profession. In my old world, I was a web novelist. My college major was interior design. After graduating, I didn't want to work in my field, so I switched completely to writing. I'd take on occasional design gigs for extra income. Life was actually pretty good. I finished the dishes, grabbed my shopping list, and headed out. I never really enjoyed window shopping, so I came straight back after buying what I needed. After getting everything settled, I started photographing the watches and clothes. I stayed busy like that until evening. I was exhausted by the time I finished the watch photos. I reheated some of the buns from this morning, wolfed them down, and headed straight to my room to read some stories. I've done enough physical labor for one day. Now it's time for some mental work. 2 hours later, I clapped my hands happily. I picked up the coffee on the desk and drained it in one gulp. I've discovered that the web novels in this world, compared to my old one, are a bit behind the times. The stories I wrote before can all be used. I have a better way to rewrite them all over again here. This is truly a godsend opportunity. Just then, I heard the front door open. I hesitated for a moment, then jumped out of bed and ran out in my slippers. I couldn't help it. I realized this morning that the front door wasn't deadbolted last night. Bei Ningbing is probably too used to living in a villa. She forgot that this kind of house needs to be locked manually. Seeing me come out, she paused, while hanging up her coat. "You're back? I only noticed this morning, but this door wasn't deadbolted last night. Back at the villa, there were people in charge of security, but that's not the case anymore. You have to deadbolt this kind of door at night. Otherwise, a thief could pick it open in no time." I understand. The two of us were basically like strangers. I had to take the lead to find something to say. "Have you eaten?" "Yes. I bought some more daily necessities today. If you feel like anything is missing, just let me know. I'll go buy them another day." Nothing is missing for now, and that was the end of the conversation. What else was there to say? I thought for about 3 seconds, and decisively chose to retreat. "Well, if there's nothing else, I am heading to my room. Call me if you need anything." After I closed my door, Bai Ningbing finally began to observe the room. She even took a walk around the kitchen and bathroom. There's quite a bit more furniture in the house today. It feels much more lived in than before. Is this man really planning to keep living here? It's like he's become a completely different person. At that moment, I had no idea what Bai Ningbing was doing. I was fully focused on cleaning up the computer. The original owner was fairly diligent in high school and got into a top university. But once he got to college, he basically just slacked off. His computer skills were terrible. This laptop is running incredibly slow. I need to clean up the data inside. I also need to see what the original owner was up to before. After searching for a while, I found a photo folder. There were many subfolders inside. Most were selfies of the original owner. A small portion were photos of his parents. The name of the last folder was just a jumble of random characters. I opened it to take a look. Wow. It's full of photos with a woman. You can tell just by looking at her that she's a wealthy socialite. She's quite beautiful too. And however, that look isn't really my type, especially when she smiles. It gives off an innocent, fragile vibe. Seeing how intimate the two of them were, even my soul started to shiver. I hurriedly flipped through the diary. Fortunately, it was all from before the marriage. That scared the life out of me. I kept a few photos that weren't too intimate, and quickly deleted all the rest. That's when I remembered that this woman is the original owner's college girlfriend, a wealthy heiress. But they've been broken up for so long. There's absolutely no need to keep these things. It's a good thing Bai Ningbing didn't make a fuss. Otherwise, if she had found these, it would have been a total time bomb. By the time I finished dealing with the computer, it was almost 11 o'clock. I let out a yawn and climbed into bed to sleep. The next morning, I woke up even earlier than yesterday. I didn't go down to buy breakfast. Instead, I decided to make fried rice myself, along with 2 side dishes. By the time Bai Ningbing woke up, I had everything ready. She could eat as soon as she finished washing up. Bai Ningbing looked at the hearty plate of fried rice in front of her, looking a bit surprised. "You even know how to make fried rice?" "That's right. I don't know how to make many things, but simple home cooking is no problem. I won't claim it's a delicacy, but it's definitely edible. Don't be too picky." Bai Ningbing took a spoonful and put it in her mouth. "Not bad. It's actually very good. I'm glad you like it. I'll be coming home for lunch today." I was stunned for a moment, then immediately reacted. "What do you want to eat?" "I'll eat whatever you make, but I would like some rice." "Got it. Then I'll make sweet and sour ribs, along with tomato scrambled eggs and egg drop soup. Okay? Can you eat all that?" "I think so." "Then you just focus on your work and don't worry." After eating, Bai Ningbing grabbed her coat and headed out. Once again, I was the one cleaning up the dishes. Leaving the apartment complex, Bai Ningbing got into a car parked at the gate. The driver was her former assistant, Gu Qinghan. She was also the friend chosen by Grandpa to grow up alongside her. Seeing her settle into the seat, Gu Qinghan handed a paper bag to Ningbing. "Here's breakfast from Xi's bakery." "No need. I've already eaten." Xiao Wu made fried rice. Gu Qinghan's hand froze midair, and she gasped in surprise. "What? Xiao Wu actually knows how to cook? I just found out he could cook too. He made porridge yesterday. I thought that was strange enough. When he said he could cook, I thought he was just bragging. Who would have thought he'd actually make fried rice today? I told him I'd be back for lunch, and he even said he'd cook a few more dishes." Seeing her unusual behavior, Gu Qinghan frowned and said, "He's not up to something, is he? I remember before, you two stayed out of each other's way. He didn't know how to do anything." "Oh right, didn't he demand a divorce before?" "I've already finished looking into the procedures. Why hasn't there been any word from him lately?" Bai Ningbing looked up. a thoughtful smile flickering on her face. He said he doesn't want a divorce anymore. He said he's accepted our current life. He wants us to live well from now on. He's even going to earn money. He told me not to feel too much pressure. Bai Ningbing leaned back against the seat, her tone hard to read. Haha, maybe he just can't stand to see you suffer and decided to stick by you through thick and thin? If that's true, then he's actually not half bad. He was a total loser in college, spent the last 2 years of marriage just blowing money, demanded a divorce the other day, and then changed his mind the very next. What do you think? They say true character shows in times of trouble. Maybe his conscience finally kicked in. That's just how people are. You don't know someone's true nature until something happens. Over this past period of time, we've seen plenty of people turn their backs on us. Maybe Xiao Wu is the type of person who needs a crisis to truly see through things and reveal his real character. Maybe. Let's go. Regardless, he's not causing any trouble. Well, just keep an eye on him and see. Meanwhile, in another development, I spent the whole morning busy taking photos of the clothes. There are over 80 outfits. She can't possibly wear them all. Keeping a dozen or so to maintain appearances is enough. I'll sell the rest. Then I can buy her some more practical everyday clothes. It took over 2 hours just to photograph half of them. I looked at the clock hanging in the living room. It was already 10 o'clock. Thinking about having to go to the market for groceries, I hurriedly gathered the clothes, threw on a coat, and headed out. Coming out of the supermarket, I was carrying 2 large bags back toward the apartment. Just as I crossed the street, I heard someone call out and turned around. It was a very beautiful woman, dressed quite stylishly. Looking closer, wasn't this the girl from the photo last night? Seeing me turn around, she ran over. Xiao Wu, how did you end up like this? I looked down at my clothes, then at the bags in my hands, and asked, confused, is there a problem? What are you doing here? She put on a look of deep devotion. Leave Bai Ningbing. Come back to me. I can give you a better life now. It breaks my heart to see you suffering like this. Come back to me. I'll make sure you live a good life. If it weren't for the memories of what this woman had done, I might have actually been moved by the devotion in her eyes. Liu Ruyan, the second miss of the Liu group, and the original owner's ex-girlfriend. Back when she was with the original owner, she enjoyed his constant attention on one hand, while mocking him for being a gold digger on the other. Even though she had money, she never spent a single cent on him. The original owner paid for everything during their dates. She treated him like a dog, calling him when she wanted, dismissing him when she didn't. She was incredibly arrogant. It wasn't until Bai Ningbing came looking for him that she suddenly acted all devoted, trying to get him to reject Bai Ningbing. At first, the original owner was completely devoted to her. He didn't dare to eat or dress well, saving every penny just for her to spend. But this woman was only playing with him. Fortunately, the original owner still had a bit of sense left and didn't fall completely into her love trap. Back then, the original owner almost did reject Bai Ningbing. Luckily, through a twist of fate, he found out her true colors. That was when the original owner finally lost all hope. It was also because of this that he felt the only thing in this world worth trusting was money. That's how he turned into the person he became later, knowing nothing but how to waste money. You could say the original owner's tragedy was at least half this woman's fault, and now this trashy woman has come looking for me. It's definitely not out of any deep devotion. I don't know what she's plotting behind my back, but it's certainly nothing good. Before, Bai Ningbing was someone she could only admire and look up to. Now that Bai Ningbing has fallen from grace, if I were easily seduced away by someone else, it would definitely be another blow to Bai Ningbing. She probably wants to do something to hurt Bai Ningbing. So, I shook my head and said, I am not going with you. Go back to wherever you came from. Why? Bai Ningbing is a total loser now. She'll only make you suffer. What are you so attached to her for? As for being husband and wife, it means sharing the blessings and the burdens. I am her husband. Naturally, I must stay by her side. No matter what she becomes, I can't just abandon her on a whim. Don't say she's only facing a temporary setback. Even if she were to become crippled, I would still have to take care of her. This has nothing to do with suffering or having no money. As long as she hasn't divorced me, I cannot leave her. Besides, now is when she needs me the most. What kind of nonsense are you talking? If I am not mistaken, you and her barely even speak to each other. She just constantly gave you money to go shopping. There's no actual feeling between you two. Why should you suffer along with her? Liu Ruyan looked at me as if she were looking at an idiot who said she treated me badly. Back when she was still wealthy, she gave me quite a lot of money every month. Even though she didn't have time to spend with me, I could spend as much money as I wanted. Sure, that amount of money was nothing to her, but money doesn't just fall from the sky. She gave it out of kindness. She didn't have to give me anything. Since she did, I have to acknowledge her generosity. Now that she's fallen on hard times, even if we were to divorce, she still agreed to let me stay in the rental house and was willing to give me more than half of the remaining money. To me, that's more than fair and honorable. If that's not considered good, then what is? We didn't have any feelings to begin with, but to do this much based on character alone is already very impressive. You say she's not good, but are you any better? What's wrong with me? If you come with me, I will definitely treat you well. Without waiting for Liu Ruyan to continue, I cut her off. Back in college when I had no money, you were always looking down on me, thinking I just wanted to dig for your gold. We were together for nearly 2 years, and you never spent a single cent on our dates. Even the gifts you gave me were just free promotional items. On the contrary, I was the one working hard at part-time jobs, earning money for you to spend, and in the end, you just turned around and dumped me. And you call that being good to me? What are you talking about? What kind of person do you take me for? Did Bae Ningbing say something to you to make you misunderstand me like this? A dark look flickered in Liu Ruyan's eyes. You think too highly of yourself. Someone like Bae Ningbing wouldn't even mention you to me. She doesn't care about you at all. You're the only one obsessed with her, trying to find some sense of importance in front of her. It's just like the old saying, person sees the world exactly as they are themselves. Just go wherever you're going. I don't want to say anything harsher than that. Liu Ruyan's gaze grew even darker. She took a few steps closer to me. She put on a weak act and said, Xiao Wu, you've definitely been brainwashed by Bai Ningbing. How could you think that? I truly like you. That Bai Ningbing woman is broke now. That's why she's clinging to you and won't let go. You can't be this stupid. Stop right there. Don't come any closer. The bottom line is, abandoning your wife when she's in trouble is not something a decent human being does. I won't leave her at a time like this to give up on that idea. Even if I were to leave her, it would only be when she no longer needs me. Liu Ruyan was about to say something else. Suddenly, a round of applause rang out nearby. Well said. Well said. Beautifully spoken, young man. Your morals are absolutely spot on. Exactly. If everyone nowadays thought like that, there wouldn't be so many divorces. This young man is a good one, and his wife sure didn't lose out by marrying him. Only then did I notice, not far away, there was a group of older folks who were clearly heading home after their morning exercise. They walked over. The old man leading the group looked Liu Ruyan up and down. He couldn't help but shake his head and click his tongue. Young lady, he's living perfectly fine with his wife. Running over here to wreck someone else's family is just wicked. Think about it. If you were married, and some other woman was constantly trying to steal your husband, how would you feel? Don't do unto others what you don't want done to yourself. That's right. You're saying just because his wife is out of money, he should divorce her and run off with you. Can you guarantee that you'll never end up broke one day? This group of seniors was like a flip switch. Everyone started criticizing Liu Ruyan, not giving her a single chance to talk back. In an instant, she was painted as a morally bankrupt, twisted, and utterly hopeless homewrecker. I quickly stepped aside to make room for the elders, hiding behind the crowd and holding back my laughter as I mocked her. This woman really needs to be re-educated. Please teach her a good lesson. Elders, I still have to go home and cook. I'll be taking my leave now. Let's chat again when we have the chance. No problem. You go on ahead. Leave this to us. Not far away, Bai Ningbing and Gu Qinghan had taken in the entire scene. They sat in the car for a long time without moving, watching Liu Ruyan obediently admit her mistake and finally be let go by the seniors. Gu Qinghan found it hard to believe. She spoke up in surprise. Bingbing, that was Xiao Yu just now, right? Why do I feel like he's turned into a completely different person? Is that really him? Then Xiao Yu is actually a really good guy. Before, I only knew him as a big spender, but now that you're bankrupt in name, he still refuses to leave you. He'd rather suffer just to stay by your side, and it's not even because he loves you, but out of a sense of duty and loyalty. This is exactly what those elders were saying. His morals are absolutely top-notch. At this moment, Bai Ningbing also felt that her perception of me had been somewhat skewed. After saying goodbye to Gu Qinghan, Bai Ningbing went straight home. As soon as she opened the door, she saw me huddled with my laptop on the rug in front of the living room sofa, typing away furiously. The house was filled with the mouth-watering aroma of meat. You're back? Bai Ningbing placed the bag of fruit she just bought next to the coffee table and walked over curiously to take a closer look, only to discover that I was actually writing a story. I figured I've forgotten most of my college major, but I still remember some of the things I learned before. Plus, Eve always read novels, so I guess I know a thing or two about this field. I am thinking of trying my hand at writing web novels. You don't mind, do you? I asked that out loud. But my hands kept typing swiftly. Bai Ningbing felt this suited my current situation. After all, she didn't expect me to make any money anyway, so she didn't object, as long as you're happy. I knew this eldest miss definitely didn't think much of these things. She probably didn't understand them well, either. I decided to change the subject. The ribs are stewing. It'll probably be another hour before we can eat. Just go ahead and do your own thing. Bai Ningbing nodded, went to wash her face and change clothes, then headed into her room and didn't come back out. An hour later, I knocked on her door to call her for dinner. 2 bowls of rice were already set on the dining table. The dishes looked quite lavish, vibrant with greens and reds, very pleasing to the eye, and beautifully plated. You could tell at a glance that a lot of heart went into cooking them. It's my first time making sweet and sour pork ribs, so I don't know if it's any good. Give it a taste. If it's bad, I'll go whip up a cucumber salad in a bit. Ever since my parents' accident back when I was in college, I had always lived alone, influenced by them. My standards for quality of life weren't overly high, but they definitely weren't low either. I always cleaned the house on schedule, and whenever I had free time, I'd cook for myself. My lifestyle was very disciplined, so these basic life skills were no problem for me. Saying that just now was merely me being modest. I wouldn't dare call my cooking skills exceptional, but for home-cooked meals, I was more than capable. In the past, whenever friends gathered, I was the one manning the stove, and I'd receive my fair share of compliments. Bai Ningbing picked up a piece and put it in her mouth. She nodded. Not bad. It's pretty good. That's good to hear. Then eat some more. Things have been so chaotic these past few days. You haven't been eating or resting well. It's been tough on you. I poured a glass of pre-made lemon tea and pushed it in front of her. This is lemon tea with a bit of honey to give you some vitamin C. Drink as much as you can. Don't complain it's too sour. Bai Ningbing's face was full of scrutiny. She felt like the man in front of her had turned into a completely different person. The information she had investigated before, as well as their past 2 years of living together, didn't match up at all. But truthfully, she had never paid close attention to him either. She couldn't be sure if her previous investigation was comprehensive. She had no choice but to suppress her doubts. Thanks for your hard work. It's nothing. I am home all day, sheltered from the wind and rain. You're the one out there dealing with so much. It must be exhausting. Eat up. I smiled. Honestly, just thinking about it, I already knew, in the past, Bai Ningbing was someone utterly out of reach for others. When old Master Bai was still alive, who would dare go against the Bai family? And Bai Ningbing had been the most outstanding since childhood. So many people had been compared to her by their parents, growing up under the shadow of her perfection. Now that old Master Bai was gone, the other branches of the Bai family were only focused on figuring out how to divide the inheritance. As for the rest, they just wanted to see Bai Ningbing fall as quickly as possible. Not only would they refuse to lend a helping hand, they'd gleefully kick her while she was down, watching the person they once could only look up to now being trampled under their feet. Actually, when I read the novel before transmigrating, I didn't understand why Bai Ningbing was so adamant about not letting her best friends help her. Clearly, if she just accepted their help, she wouldn't have failed so miserably. Unfortunately, our relationship right now wasn't exactly great, so I was too hesitant to ask. Thinking about it, Bai Ningbing was once an eldest miss. After all, she probably had her own plans. I didn't know how Bai Ningbing felt about this meal. Regardless, I was very satisfied with it myself. I guess Bai Ningbing didn't hate my cooking either, because she ate 2 whole bowls. I'll leave the dishes in the kitchen for now. You don't need to touch them. I'll wash them after my afternoon nap. I tossed the dishes into the kitchen sink. I washed some fruit and brought it out to the coffee table. Then I huddled back there to continue typing, rewriting the things I had written before. My speed, of course, was incredibly fast. Plus, I had trained my typing speed a long time ago, just in the morning alone. I had hammered out a 2,000-word outline. At this rate, I figured I'd finish 20,000 words by tomorrow and be able to submit the manuscript. Bai Ningbing and I were currently in a critical phase. We desperately needed money. I didn't understand business. I could only try to make a little extra cash to ease the pressure on Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing went back to her room again. The door closed, and I had no idea what she was doing inside. Around 1:30 Nachmittags, I forced myself to shut down the laptop and rolled into bed for a nap. The living room instantly fell silent again. In her bedroom, Bai Ningbing hesitated for a moment. She texted Gu Qinghan back, telling her to drop it. I'll just observe his behavior from now on. No need to investigate him anymore for now. Maybe I am just overthinking things. Wait a bit longer. It hasn't even been an hour. The alarm rang. I crawled out of bed. My head felt a little groggy. I fumbled my way to the bathroom and saw the door was closed. Cursing myself internally, I casually grabbed the doorknob and pulled it open. I just walked right in. The moment I looked up, I locked eyes with the person inside. Sorry, I was half asleep. I thought I was the only one home. Blushing furiously, I ran back to my room and slammed the door shut. I wanted to slap myself to death. That was so embarrassing. It took me a long time to finally calm down. I opened my door and stepped out. Bai Ningbing just happened to be walking out of the bathroom. We locked eyes once again, even though we were about 4 or 5 meters apart. It's fine. Don't be so embarrassed. This house is small. We'll be bumping into each other all the time from now on. You'll get used to it. Right. I'll get used to it. You're not going out today? I've already finished what I needed to do today. I won't be going out this afternoon. After Bai Ningbing said that, she suddenly thought about how I hadn't been home the past few days. Is there anything you need my help with? I felt a bit uneasy. What's wrong? Is something the matter? Even though I grew up in the BA family, I am not completely lacking in basic life skills. Now that we're living together in this small house, if there's anything, just tell me straight. I am not just here for decoration. Alright, I got it. Looking at Bai Ningbing's serious expression, I actually found it quite cute. Whether she was successful or down on her luck, her beauty was truly flawless, as the most beautiful woman penned by the author. Even when she was expressionless, she was still incredibly gorgeous. I felt that facing a woman like this, and still not being moved, would be absolutely insane. After Bai Ningbing finished speaking, she gave me a meaningful look, and then returned to her room. At that moment, I suddenly realized something, and quickly stood up, running to her door. What do you want for dinner tonight? Whatever is fine. I am not picky. Alright then. The eldest miss was easier to feed than I thought. I strolled back, sat by the coffee table, and continued typing. Just as I finished a chapter, I suddenly remembered the items I posted on the secondhand website. I hurriedly opened it to check. Not bad at all. I had already sold 12 watches and 2 outfits. I wasn't too familiar with the value of those luxury goods, so before listing them, I looked up the prices online and discounted them by 20% before posting. Many of these items still had their tags on, but I was worried Bai Ningbing might need money urgently, so I didn't dare price them too high. I was originally worried that no one would be willing to buy such expensive stuff, but surprisingly, they sold pretty fast. I jotted down all the shipping addresses. After saving the file, I ran into the room to find the watches and clothes. Since there were quite a few items to ship, I decided to call a courier to pick them up from the house. Half an hour later, everything was packed up, and the courier had arrived. Bai Ningbing must have heard the commotion. She opened her door and came out. "What are you doing?" I had way too many clothes and watches from before. Since I am not really going anywhere these days, leaving them around just clutters up the house. So I sorted out a few to sell. These are the ones that sold today. I need to ship them out to the buyers soon. You don't have to do that. We aren't at the point where you need to sell your belongings. Honestly, it's mostly because they take up too much space. Besides, they aren't even the latest models. Even if I keep them, I won't use them. Might as well sell them for cash. That way, if I see something new I like later on, I'll have the money to buy it. Saying that should be enough to save face for the eldest miss, right? I thought I was being pretty considerate, but I didn't know which of my words had struck a chord with her. The hand Bai Ningbing had placed on my arm suddenly trembled. Then she let go, no longer trying to stop me, and simply said, "Okay, well, buy new ones later." Where would we get the money to buy new ones? A single watch costs tens of thousands of yuan. That's enough to cover my living expenses for half a year. Buying a few watches would leave us eating dirt. I complained internally, but I didn't show a hint of it on my face. She's a wealthy heiress. After all, everyone needs to save face. I smiled. "I'll wait for you to buy me a new watch later." Then, Bai Ningbing was struck by this smile familiar, yet lately feeling incredibly foreign, and found it almost blinding. She lowered her head slightly, looking at the packed boxes on the floor, then bent down to pick them up, helping the courier put them into the large bag. It wasn't until the courier took the items and left that Bai Ningbing asked me, "How many are you planning to sell?" I originally had over 100 watches and over 80 outfits. More than 10 of those watches still have their tags on. I plan to sell all of those. Out of the remaining 50, I'll sell about 40 or so. Keeping 10 is more than enough for me. As for the clothes, I'll keep around 30 outfits and sell the rest. I thought Bai Ningbing would try to stop me. Surprisingly, she just nodded and didn't say anything else. She casually picked up an apple, sat down on the sofa, and started peeling it. For a moment, I couldn't guess what she was thinking. I also didn't know if doing this had hurt her pride, but survival was more important than these random thoughts. Even if she took offense, there was nothing I could do about it. I had looked it up this morning. Housing prices in this area had just gone up by half. I didn't know what plans Bai Ningbing had, or if she could truly rebuild her career in the future. But no matter what, I had to find a way to buy a house first. Selling the watches and clothes would give me enough for a down payment. When the time came, it'd give the remaining money to Bai Ningbing, and it'd pay off the mortgage myself. That way, even if the eldest miss couldn't make a comeback, we wouldn't end up homeless. My mind was racing with thoughts. I sat by the coffee table, my eyes glued to the laptop screen. After a long while of silence, a peeled apple suddenly appeared in front of me. The sweet scent of the apple wafted into my nose. It was peeled perfectly and beautifully. I couldn't help but swallow hard, realizing that Bai Ningbing had peeled it and held it right in front of my face. For me? Bai Ningbing pushed the apple forward a bit more. "You've been working hard." I was truly flattered, but also a bit panicked. The Bai Ningbing from the original novel never needed a man, let alone had any patience for them. Yet here she was, peeling an apple for me, and peeling it so perfectly, too. It was completely unexpected. I hurriedly took the apple, quickly waving it off as nothing. "I bought them with your money in the first place. You never complained about me squandering your wealth before. I am already incredibly grateful for that." To my surprise, Bai Ningbing smiled. She usually had such a cold, stoic face. While she wasn't exactly an ice queen, she still had an aura that kept people at a distance. Now, suddenly flashing a smile, it left me completely mesmerized. How could there be such a breathtakingly beautiful woman in this world? "Don't worry. I'll definitely buy you plenty more watches in the future." I nodded instinctively. When I snapped out of it, I felt a little embarrassed. "I believe you'll definitely make a comeback. Take your time. I'll wait for you to buy me that watch. You can do it." "I know you can." Bai Ningbing just gave a soft smile, stood up, and went back to her room, or I couldn't see. A glint of amusement flashed in her eyes. I buried my head in my manuscript for the rest of the afternoon. I finally managed to type out over 10,000 words. We had a quick, simple dinner together, then went back to doing our own things. I stayed up until midnight and successfully finished 20,000 words. The next morning, after breakfast, Bai Ningbing went out. While I busied myself with submitting the manuscript, I checked the second-hand website again. I had sold another 8 watches in 1 outfit. It felt like I was looking at a massive pile of cash. Money is constantly flowing into my wallet. I am in an incredibly good mood. I just finished organizing my manuscript and sent it off. Then, I heard a knock at the door. Who is it? I stood up, heading over to open it. The voice from outside belonged to a man. It's me, Lu Jingyan. Lu Jingyan? Who the hell is that? I searched through my memories as I went to open the door, but no matter how hard I thought, I couldn't find anyone by that name. When I opened the door and looked, there was only one man standing there. He had that classic handsome scumbag look about him. The moment he saw me, he gave me a scrutinizing look, judging me from head to toe, which felt incredibly unpleasant. Aren't you going to invite me in for a bit? Lu Jingyan spoke as he prepared to step inside. I still had no idea who this guy was, so I quickly blocked his path. Who are you looking for? If it's Gu Xiaoyu, then I am here for you. He sidestepped me and forced his way into the house. Sister Bei, isn't he home right now? Is she? Since Head already pushed his way in, it would be awkward to kick him out now. I closed the door, poured a cup of tea, and set it in front of him. She's not here. She went out early this morning. Is there something you need from me? Of course there is. To be honest, you look decent enough, but you have no family background and no talent. Sister Bei really got the short end of the stick by marrying you. Years ago, it was only because Grandpa Bai wanted to repay a debt of gratitude that he let you marry her. But you've been married to her for years now, and you haven't done a single thing to help her career. All you do is spend her money and mess around all day. Other than that, you're completely useless. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? May I be so bold as to ask, what exactly is your relationship with Bei Ningbing? Sister Bei and I were childhood sweethearts. We grew up together. She treats me very well. If it weren't for you, we might have ended up together by now. But I've never heard anything about this. What kind of stupid question is that? Did you really expect Sister Bai to tell you about our history as childhood sweethearts? That makes sense. Bai Ningbing really wouldn't mention it to the original owner. First, they weren't close. Second, she isn't the type to gossip about her past. I nodded. So, what's your purpose in coming to see me? Sister Bei is in need of help right now. How can you be so thick-skinned as to keep being a burden to her? My father has already agreed as long as we get married. Hell helps Sister Bai rebuild her career. So, you should divorce her. If Bei Ningbing wanted to divorce me, she could tell me herself. Why would she need you to deliver the message? I am not the type of person to shamelessly cling to someone who doesn't want me. Or is this actually just your own idea? How could Sister Bai do something so classless as to bring it up herself? Of course, she's too embarrassed to say it. This is something you need to take the initiative on. You've spent so much of her money, and you haven't helped her at all over the years. She's never made things difficult for you, but now that she's in trouble, if you can't help her with the big things, the least you can do is stop being a dead weight, take the initiative, and ask for a divorce. She'll just go with the flow. An idle save face for both of you. Is this really what Bai Ningbing wants? This is my idea. Why don't you get it yet? Sister Bai isn't the type of person to do something like this. What we need to do now is take the initiative to help her. If you divorce her first, then I can marry her, and only then can she receive help from my father. If this were Bai Ningbing's wish, I would have no problem suggesting a divorce. But since you're saying this is your idea, then I have a question for you. Before Bai Ningbing and I got married, were you two actually in a relationship? Does she love you? Lu Jingyan paused mid-sip. That doesn't matter. She's just not good at expressing herself. Besides, it's not like she likes you anyway. I am the one who can help her. You're nothing but a burden to her. I am 100 times more worthy of her than you are. You're wrong. I might not know Bai Ningbing perfectly, but I can say this for certain. She would never easily accept help from your father, especially when that help comes with the condition of marrying you. Do you really think convincing your father to help her is what's best for her? Have you ever considered that if she relies on your father to make a comeback, how will she ever be able to hold her head high again? She'll forever be branded as someone who used marriage just to advance her career. I really don't know Bai Ningbing that well, but I believe the villainess written in the original story is not someone who would be content living as a parasite. In fact, if she weren't so unwilling to bow and scrape to others, she wouldn't have faced so many hardships. A person like that, how could she possibly accept using her marriage as a bargaining chip, just for a chance to rebuild her empire? At least not in the short term. Actually, I don't mind divorcing Bai Ningbing, but I certainly won't do it because of someone else's instigation. I've made my stance clear. Whatever Bai Ningbing wants to do is up to her. I will absolutely respect her choice. Lu Jingyan looked like someone had stepped on his tail. He immediately bristled with anger. You just want to hold her back. You're refusing to divorce. Aren't you? How can a man be as selfish as you? Sister Bai has been more than generous to you. She finally has a chance to rebuild her career, and you want to personally strangle that opportunity? You're absolutely disgusting. Mr. Lu, I've been polite enough to you, setting aside the fact that you barged in here today to spout all this nonsense. Anyone who didn't know better would think you were desperate to be a homewrecker. My marriage with Bai Ningbing is none of an outsider's business. Even if you have good intentions and want to help her, you shouldn't have come to me with this. If you want to help her, go talk to her. I can't make decisions for her anyway, and I am not going to shamelessly cling to her. As for this refusal to divorce, just think about it for a second. If she actually liked you, then before Grandpa Bai ever found me, Why didn't you two get married? If you say the feelings weren't there yet, then why weren't you two even dating? You keep saying she's not the type to be ungrateful or break her word, but your actions right now are clearly trying to make her do exactly that. And you haven't considered the practical issues at all. You haven't thought about her actual problems at all. What right do you have to say that? You're just a pretty boy who knows nothing but how to spend money. A leech like you, who doesn't know how to do anything else. What gives you the right? What right do you have to lecture me? The simple fact that I am still her husband in name. As long as I am her husband, I have every right to call out anyone trying to wedge themselves into our marriage. It's true that in the past, I only knew how to spend money on shopping and didn't help her with anything. But back then, she was the one who let me buy those things. If she didn't mind, why are you so worked up? If you want to marry her, go talk to her. The moment you and she reach an agreement, I won't say another word and will sign the divorce papers immediately. But as for what you're telling me here, I won't agree to it. You're truly shameless. Lu Jingyan slammed his cup onto the table in a rage. I wasn't even angry anymore. I calmly swirled my own cup. A person like you, trying to destroy someone else's marriage, and you don't feel a shred of shame? Where do you get the nerve to call me shameless? Since you think I am so thick-skinned, it seems we have nothing more to discuss. In short, you're refusing to divorce. You can assume whatever you like. Having received a definitive answer, and knowing he wouldn't achieve his goal today, Lu Jingyan stood up abruptly and stormed out. Before leaving, he didn't forget to turn back and throw one last line at me. Just you wait. Sister Bai is going to dump you sooner or later. The door slammed shut again. I let out a soft sigh. It's one thing for the female lead to be popular, but even the villainess has suitors like this. If it weren't for my conscience gnawing at me, I'd actually love to get a divorce. But that's just wishful thinking for now. I can't just take over someone else's body and act like I am entitled to everything, even though I wasn't the one who spent that money. It's technically my debt now. Putting that aside for a moment, I opened the website, noted down the addresses and models, then went into my room. I took out the watches ID sold, packed them up, and called the courier. I need to make sure the items sold today are shipped out early. A rough calculation of the items sold in this batch came to about 2 million yuan. Once the buyers receive their goods, my bank account will have a significant boost. If I sell a few more items, I'll be able to buy a small apartment, I'll make a down payment, and officially become a homeowner. The thought of it filled me with motivation. I didn't feel like writing for a while, so I opened a browser and started looking at houses in this city. My very first house. I have to choose carefully. I lost track of time until it was almost noon. I didn't even have time to close the tabs before rushing to cook. This morning, the eldest Miss Bai told me before she left that she'd be coming home for lunch. It's my fault. I got so caught up imagining my bright future that I forgot to check the time. I planned to make wontons for lunch. Something light. It's been a while since I've had them. Do you want to eat a lot? If you want to eat, I'll cook more in a bit. I'll freeze the rest after I am done wrapping them. That way, if I am ever too lazy to cook, I can just boil some, then make plenty. Bai Ningbing walked out after washing her hands and dropped that line. It had been a very long time since she had eaten comfort food. The last time she had snacks like this was 3 or 4 years ago. If I hadn't suddenly mentioned it, she might not have even realized how long it had been since she last relaxed. Okay, I'll cook a bunch then, I said, my hands moving skillfully without pause. To me, life is full of hope and small moments of happiness. Whether life is bitter or sweet depends on how you make it. Being given a second chance at life is already a huge stroke of luck. Every gift from life should be cherished. Being able to sit here wrapping wontons and then eating them is a joy in itself. Nearly an hour later, 2 steaming bowls of wontons were placed on the table. I called Bai Ningbing out and sat down. I tilted my head and gestured. Bai Ningbing, come sit. An expectant smile spread across my face. Give it a taste. I think the wontons I wrap are actually pretty good. I wasn't sure how much you'd eat, and wontons aren't exactly filling, so I whipped up some rice noodle rolls too. By the way, do you even eat rice noodle rolls? Hearing me say that, she found it a bit amusing, though she didn't let it show on her face. Of course I do. I am a normal person too, she said, sitting down to take a bite. She chewed carefully before giving her verdict. The flavor is quite good. See, I told you my wontons were delicious. Mostly because I love eating them myself. Since you like them, eat as much as you want. The two of them ate at very different speeds, even though Bai Ningbing only ate half as much as I did. She finished at the exact same time. This time, as I was about to go wash the dishes, she suddenly spoke up. I'll buy a dishwasher one of these days. It's just a few bowls. It doesn't take much effort at all. There's no need to waste money. They don't cost that much. It's fine, Bai Ningbing said instinctively. A flicker of awkwardness crossed my face. What is it? This young lady still hasn't changed her mindset. She hasn't realized yet that we aren't as wealthy as we used to be. I was debating whether I should just be blunt and remind her, but looking at her slightly furrowed brow, the words I intended to say changed into something else the moment they left my mouth. All right, I'll go buy one eventually. You don't need to worry about it. I am very picky. It'll probably take me a long time to choose one. I sighed inwardly after speaking. Being beautiful really is an advantage. I couldn't bring myself to say anything. That would hurt her pride. Anyway, since I said I am picky, taking forever to find one I like is perfectly normal. Bei Ningbing looked at my hesitant expression and suddenly understood what her husband was worried about. For a moment, a very strange feeling welled up inside her. In the first half of her life, though her grandfather had forced her to endure hardship without money, once she finished her training at 15, she had never experienced the feeling of being broke again. This time, it wasn't that she didn't have money, but that her husband in name thought she didn't have money. But even so, he didn't throw the issue of money in her face. It was a surreal feeling, and she wasn't even sure what she was thinking anymore. I have some work to do. I'm going back to my room. Bai Ningbing turned and went to her room, leaving me alone to finish the dishes. I hummed a tune while washing up. Life was actually pretty good. A roof over my head, food on the table. The watches and clothes were selling for great prices, and soon I'd have a place of my own. Life is definitely going to get better and better. The eldest Miss abilities are top-notch. It's only a matter of time before she rebuilds her career. Maybe she'll even give me a cut of the profits then. Yeah, a little extra cash wouldn't hurt. Even if she never makes a comeback, it's fine. I can support the family myself. But having her here as a reluctant companion means I don't have to worry about something happening and no one noticing. She won't stay idle forever. And until then, we'll just live these ordinary days. If she wants a divorce later, I'll give it to her. Then I'll slowly find someone suitable. As long as we both live well, that's all that matters. After finishing the dishes, I wrote for a bit and got ready for a nap. Just then, Bai Ningbing suddenly opened her door and walked out. Did Lu Jingyan come here to give you a hard time today? I wouldn't call it a hard time. He told me to take the initiative to divorce you. I refused. I figured there was nothing between you two. If you actually like him, we can divorce whenever you want. He also said his father could help you, as long as the two of you get married. There is absolutely nothing between him and me, and I won't divorce you because of him. You did the right thing. We'll talk about other things later. I don't need help from outsiders for the time being. These matters aren't something his father can solve anyway. I understand. I nodded and stood up to head to my room for a nap. Bai Ningbing suddenly spoke up, her eyes searching mine. Is there something else going on with you? Since when did you start taking naps? I stiffened slightly and gave a guilty explanation. Well, it just hit me recently that my lifestyle habits used to be pretty terrible and my health was suffering, so I am forcing myself to adjust. Actually, you should try napping too. You'll be much sharper in the afternoon and your work will be more efficient. Then go get some rest. Bai Ningbing stood up and went back to her room. She left me standing there with a heart full of anxiety, wondering if I'd said anything wrong. After such a massive bankruptcy, it's only natural for someone to change. Once back in her room, Bai Ningbing sat at her desk with an expressionless face, lost in thought. A moment later, as if she still hadn't fully made up her mind, she picked up her phone and made a call. In the next few days, buy a dishwasher and have it sent to my place. There are still some things I need to observe. Until then, just keep things as they are. After hanging up, Bai Ningbing set her phone on the desk. Her gaze accidentally fell on the bed nearby, and my words from earlier echoed in her mind. Is napping really that good for you? Before she could even turn around, she had unconsciously laid down on the bed, feeling her whole body relax. It seemed the feeling wasn't too bad. Being busy with all sorts of things these past few years, it had been a long time since she got to sleep. A good, peaceful sleep. Before I knew it, it was already 2:30 p.m. I opened the door and stepped out of my room, stretching out, feeling completely refreshed. I went to the bathroom to wash my face and wake myself up. Just as I stepped out of the bathroom door, I saw Bai Ningbing also coming out of her room. Her eyes were still a bit hazy. Good lord. Do all rich young ladies look like this when they just wake up? She's way too beautiful. How could someone like her be the villainess? The author must have spent a lot of effort building this villainous character. However, they ended up giving her such a tragic ending. What a pity, I thought to myself, not paying attention to my own expression, accidentally revealing a bit of sympathy, which Bai Ningbing caught sight of. That look of pity seemed to burn Bai Ningbing. She immediately averted her gaze. Do you need to use the bathroom? No, I am already done. Go right ahead. I quickly stepped aside to let Bai Ningbing in. After that, I sat back down in front of the computer and got ready to write my story. Just as I turned it on, I saw a friend request on QQ. The note said it was an editor from the web novel site. Bai Ningbing heard the noise outside and walked out right after washing her hands. What's wrong? My novel passed the initial review. Once it passes the second and final reviews, I'll be able to make money off it. Really? Congratulations then. Thanks. After saying that, I stopped paying attention to Bai Ningbing, immersed myself in my novel, and kept my head down, typing away. Seeing me busy at the computer, Bai Ningbing went back into the bathroom. In the afternoon, the courier I contacted came to pick up the package. It was a young woman. Mr. Gu, do you run an online store? These watches look pretty high-end. If possible, could you sell me one at a discount? I want to give it to my boyfriend as a gift. I froze, waving my hands repeatedly. Sorry about that. I don't run an online store. I am just shipping these for a friend. The price of his watches probably isn't cheap. I think they're all over 10,000 yuan. I can't make the call on such a large amount of money. If you really want one, I can ask him for you. Over 10,000 yuan? Oh my god. Then these watches are luxury goods. I am not too sure myself. Probably. Either way, they're quite expensive. I was in the middle of speaking when the elevator doors next to us suddenly opened. Bai Ningbing stepped out. She heard everything I just said. What's going on? Nothing. The courier girl wanted to buy a watch, but the watches aren't mine. I figured I could help her ask my friend if he could give her a discount. No, if they're luxury goods, then never mind. I am just an ordinary person. I couldn't afford to wear such an expensive watch anyway. Is this all you're shipping? If this is it, then I'll pack up and get going. You're going to ship them out right away, right? Yes, just these. Sorry for the trouble. The courier girl took the packages and went into the elevator. I then realized I was blocking the doorway and quickly let Bai Ningbing in. How come you're back so early? I didn't have much to deal with today. Why did you say the watches belong to someone else? It wouldn't be very convenient to say they were mine. We live here, and we don't know how good the security is yet. If we show off our wealth and catch someone's eye, we might end up in danger. Besides, that courier has been here a few times, so we're somewhat familiar. Well, still need them to ship things in the future. If I admitted they were mine and didn't give her a little perk, she might hold a grudge, and what if she tampers with my packages? Even though we could just follow the official procedures then, it would still be a hassle. After all, you can know a person's face, but not their heart. Plus, we're not that close, so it's really not worth the risk. That's very thoughtful of you. By the way, there's a banquet in a few days, and we need to attend it together. Get ready for it early. I've never been to a banquet before. Would me going at a time like this cause trouble for you? It's fine. Things have already come to this. No one can cause me any more trouble anyway. Even if you are a hassle, a little more won't make a difference. Bai Ningbing calmly picked up the cup on the table and poured herself a glass of water. Those words made me feel a bit uncomfortable. All right, I'll prepare well. For the next 2 days, Bai Ningbing still left early and came back late as usual. However, she ate both breakfast and dinner at home. I also made it a habit to prepare 2 portions for breakfast and dinner. As for myself, I honestly typed away every day and conveniently looked up information on attending banquets. Today, as soon as Bai Ningbing walked through the door, she noticed that I wasn't lounging on the sofa like usual. Instead, the moment I heard the door open, I looked at her with bright eyes, my expression even looking a bit strange. She looked at the pile of clothes on the sofa and asked, "What's wrong? Why did you buy so many clothes?" "Miss, give me a hand here. It's been a long time since I attended a banquet, and I have absolutely no idea what kind of outfit is appropriate nowadays. These are a few suits I picked out that seem decent. Take a look. Which one is better? Didn't you always prefer to pick out your own clothes before?" Back then, my circumstances changed so suddenly, so I was a bit sensitive and insisted on choosing my own clothes just to hold on to that last bit of dignity. But I've thought it through now. A person is who they are. There's no need to be overly sensitive and end up being looked down upon. It's better to just openly admit what I don't know. Seems like you've thought this through quite thoroughly. So, take a look and see which suit fits better. I can't decide. Bai Ningbing looked back and forth, then casually pointed at the most classic black suit. This one. It's not too flashy. It suits you quite well. All right, let's go with this one then. After picking out the suit, I neatly put the other clothes away. When it was time to head to the banquet, Bai Ningbing personally drove me there. I purposely sat in the back seat. Bai Ningbing glanced at me through the rearview mirror. "Are you wearing that little? Will you be okay? It's a suit, after all. It's not that cold out yet anyway. Why do I get the feeling that your attitude towards me has gotten a bit distant? Not at all. We have no grudges against each other, and you've been so good to me. I can't even thank you enough. It's mainly because we rarely interacted before. Lately, we've been bumping into each other every day, so I am just a bit unused to it. I'll slowly get used to it later." Bai Ningbing looked into the rearview mirror. I rubbed the back of my neck. Her fake smile vanished. She looked a bit dazed, suddenly losing all interest in talking. The two of us didn't say anything else. Very soon, we arrived at the biggest hotel in the city. Bai Ningbing and I had just reached the entrance, when we were intentionally or unintentionally blocked by someone. Blocking our way was a slightly chubby man. His hair was greasy and slicked back. Clinging to his arm was a garishly dressed woman. His face clearly showed ill intentions. That movie project in the east side of the city, Guan Yuan Group has had its eye on it lately. "Aren't you going to take care of that?" President Lee froze. His expression twisted. He immediately forced out a smile. "President Bai, your elegance remains the same as ever. Long time no see." Fortunately, Bai Ningbing didn't even bother looking at him. She just led me straight past him and went inside. I followed Bai Ningbing into the banquet. I saw a few familiar faces. They were drinking buddies from my past memories. They were all live and husbands of wealthy young ladies, or their sons. Moreover, none of them were highly regarded. A few of them saw me holding a wine glass and were about to come over. But when they saw Bai Ningbing next to me, they all obediently shrank back. Someone even signaled, "Aren't you going over there?" Why would I go over there? Do I have a death wish? We were never that close to begin with. It was just superficial socializing. Times have changed now. It's best not to be friends. We hadn't taken many steps before. We hadn't taken many steps when two young men, with a few girls clinging to their arms, walked over. The man walking faster looked a bit older, around 30 years old. He wore a fake smile on his face. If it isn't Miss Bai, long time no see. And this gentleman next to you is, look at my memory. I really am getting old. I believe this is Miss Bai's husband, right? It's rare to see you two out together today. What's wrong? Is life not going so well? Are you short on money lately? Rumor has it that your relationship isn't doing too well. Looks like people were just talking nonsense this time. Wow. Long time no see. I thought you were too weak to even get out of bed, Mr. Tang. Turns out you can still get up. Huh. Some people are smart. If they fall in one spot, they know to avoid it next time. But some people aren't so smart and insist on dying in that same spot to be satisfied. Don't you agree, Mr. Tang? Right? It's just that some holes that used to be pits have now turned into gold nuggets on the ground. When people see treasure, naturally everyone wants to pick it up. I believe Miss Bai understands what I mean. Oh, right? I heard Miss Bai's business has run into some problems lately, since we used to know each other. I'll kindly give Miss Bai a reminder. Sometimes, wealth isn't necessarily money, it can also be people. I unconsciously clenched my fists, stepping in front of Bai Ningbing. Just then, a female voice came from the side. Second sister, why are you here? The two men opposite us changed their expressions. Chi-Chi? I was just taking a walk around here. What are you two standing here for? My second sister isn't someone you can just strike up a conversation with, just because you want to. Have the Singh and Shi families become this ill-mannered? Why are you still standing here instead of leaving? Are you waiting for me to invite you to leave? Do you think I am as gentle as my second sister? The two men nodded. They immediately turned and left. The female companions with them were still curious and wanted to look back at Xiao Rongyu, but they were scolded by the men. Second sister, honestly, it's fine that you came, but why did you bring him along? Even if you brought him, you could have at least told me. Those two idiots just now actually dared to come looking for attention in front of you. You're way too nice. It's fine. They're just a couple of jumping clowns. But you don't usually come to these kinds of places. Why did you come here this time? Wasn't I afraid that if you came, you'd run into some blind fools? I had a hard time getting my manager to cancel my schedule for me, but it's a good thing I came. Otherwise, who knows what else? Those two unlucky bastards would have said. Xiao Rongyu turned her head to look at me, her eyes scanning me from head to toe. Based on my second sister's current situation, trying to dig for gold from her is a dead end. So, stop pretending, and just leave while you can. I smiled a bit awkwardly, and didn't say anything. Don't talk nonsense. We haven't divorced yet. Let's go. Let's sit over there for a bit. Alright, I'll head over with you guys. With Xiao Rongyun sitting next to us. Finally, no one else came over to our side. Among these people, anyone with a bit of status. I knew that Xiao Rongyun was someone they couldn't afford to offend. I originally thought that coming here this time, I'd have to face a lot of awkward situations, but we hadn't been sitting for long. When Bai Ningbing wanted to take me away, Xiao Rongyun tried to invite Bai Ningbing to do something together, but after being rejected by Bai Ningbing, the two of us headed home together. Sitting in the car, I looked at Bai Ningbing driving in front, hesitated for a full 3 minutes, before finally gathering the courage to speak. Did you achieve your goal by attending the banquet today? You could say that. Before, didn't I sell all those watches and clothes? Now I have a small sum of money. I was thinking, since the assets have been liquidated, and we don't owe any debts, why don't we buy a small apartment? We can pay a down payment, and I'll use my writing royalties to pay it off gradually later. Well, keep the rest of the money as living expenses for 6 months just in case. If you want to use the remaining amount for business, then go ahead and use it. Bai Ningbing froze, looking at me through the rearview mirror and said, Are you in that much of a hurry? Of course I am. How could I not be? Housing prices change every single day now. If we don't buy soon, the longer we wait, the more we'll lose. Renting forever isn't a long-term plan for a married couple. If you mind or feel uneasy, we can put the house under your name. Once we have a house, at least it guarantees that in the future, we won't lose a place to live. I'll think about it. That night, after returning home, I went back to my room to continue writing my novel. Bai Ningbing received another phone call. Second sister, I have found out what you asked me to investigate. I've sent the encrypted file to your email. I haven't disclosed this information to anyone. Take a look. On Bai Ningbing's laptop screen, it was paused on the email inbox page. She let out a soft sigh. Her 10 fingers, unconsciously, tapped against the desk in a rhythmic pattern. Her brows furrowed slightly. After a long while, she picked up her phone and made a call. Hello, is this Grandmaster Wang? I'd like to ask you something. Is it possible for someone in this world, without having multiple personalities, or schizophrenia, to suddenly turn into a completely different person? Even their daily habits and worldviews suddenly change. A few minutes after hanging up the phone, Bai Ningbing relaxed and leaned back in her chair, her expressionless face suddenly breaking into a smirk. So it's a soul possessing a body? The next morning, Bai Ningbing leisurely finished eating a steamed bun, then suddenly looked up as if she was interested. What kind of stories do you usually write in your novels? Holding my steamed bun, I paused for a moment. The stories I write I write all kinds of genres. I usually don't limit myself to just a few specific ones. I want to write about everything, but my favorite is still transmigration novels. I love those highly imaginative transmigration stories. Does transmigration really exist? Of course, I think it's real. Who can say for sure what this world really is? Sometimes, we feel like we're living in a very real world, but who knows? It might just be a world built by someone else's pen. Who knows what the true nature of the world is? Since we can't confirm that, how can we say transmigration doesn't exist? A world built by a pen. Naturally, in someone else's story, we might just be nameless passersby, or even the original host. So if you transmigrated, what kind of person do you think you were in your past life? Probably someone quite happy, loving parents, an only child, doing whatever I wanted. Maybe my parents would pass away suddenly, but I would have studied the major I liked, never worrying about food or drinks, and never short on money. Life would pass by pretty well. As for the reason for transmigrating, ITD probably be getting stabbed to death by a thug while trying to save someone. An incredibly unlucky way to die. Dying like that is truly rotten luck. That's why you have to think things through before acting. Even if you have good intentions, you must know your limits. True. Very true. That really is the most important thing. After that, the two of them didn't bring up the subject again. After breakfast, Bai Ningbing headed out. I stayed home alone to write. Bai Ningbing wasn't coming back. For lunch, I happily ordered some takeout. Once I finished eating, I hurried to clean up. Taking out the trash, I took the trash outside. In the afternoon, I shipped out the items I had sold. Then, I went out to the market. As I strolled through the supermarket, it suddenly dawned on me. My current life isn't all that different from my past one. While I was lost in thought, an elderly lady nearby struck up a conversation. Aren't you that young man who was hounded by that awful girl last time? Out buying groceries too? Oh, it's you, ma'am. I am just picking up a few things for dinner. Good. That's very good. There aren't many young men who know how to cook these days. Your WFE is truly blessed to have found you. Oh, not at all. She's busy with work all day, so I've just been handling more of the housework lately. I am the lucky one to have met her. As long as a person knows how to be grateful, life will never treat them too poorly. You're so young, yet it's wonderful that you think that way. If your WFE treasures you as much as you do her, your lives will surely only get better from here. I smiled and picked out a nice head of broccoli. I was about to go check out when I realized Bai Ningbing had been standing next to the tomatoes for who knows how long. What are you doing here? I finished early, so I stopped by to grab a few things. I just happened to see you. Here, let me carry that. It's fine. I was only carrying 4 types of vegetables. It wasn't heavy at all. Just go ahead and get what you need. I told her to keep shopping. I was planning to make sweet and sour ribs. Bai Ningbing quite liked sour food. After picking up enough ingredients and some necessary snacks, I grabbed one more thing. Then, the two of us went to check out together. Oh my. We meet again, young man. This must be your wife, right? She is absolutely stunning. Yes, this is my wife. I must say, I've never seen such a beautiful girl in my life. She looks even better than a movie star. No wonder you were so adamant about not getting a divorce. That girl who was clinging to you the other day, compared to your wife, she's miles behind. Not only is she not as pretty, but her class is on a completely different level. I don't know how she had the nerve to come looking for you. I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. My heart was practically in my throat. Bai Ningbing gave me a very meaningful look. I let out a forced laugh. You're right, Mom. She's nothing but trouble. There's no comparison at all. It'd have to be crazy too. I could never involve myself with someone like that again. She definitely didn't have good intentions when she came to find me. She really didn't. Luckily, I am not as foolish as I used to be. I am not that easy to fool anymore. The cashier finished swiping the card and handed it back to me with both hands. Sir, here's your card. Goodbye, ma'am. I hurriedly walked out with Bai Ningbing. Once we were out of the supermarket, I started to explain about that. I think you probably know, but before I married you, I had an ex-girlfriend. Her name is Liu Ruan. Back in college, I didn't understand how wicked people could be, which is why I fell for a manipulative woman like her. Of course, after marrying you, I cut off all contact with her. That day, I had just stepped out of the supermarket when she showed up looking for me. I knew she was up to no good, so when she told me to follow her, I turned her down immediately. That lady from just now was one of the kind souls who helped me put her in her place. Bai Ningbing nodded, signaling that she knew who Liu Ruan was. The second young miss of the Liu group, I've heard she's very petty. She's beyond petty. She's incredibly stingy. Back then, she put on such a sophisticated act, acting like she was some kind of social elite. The original me wasn't. I mean, I thought she was some incredibly talented senior, so I felt a bit inferior standing in front of her. Who would have thought? Later, I heard her say the person she actually liked was my classmate. She was just playing with me for fun. Just thinking about it makes me furious. I loathe women as disgusting as her. Just stay away from her from now on. Yeah, I am definitely not giving her the time of day. Dealing with someone like that is a total waste of life. After we got home, I did some light cleaning and started cooking. Bai Ningbing walked into the kitchen. Need any help? I almost jumped out of my skin. I quickly waved her off. No need, I can handle this myself. You're busy with so many things all day. Just go do your work. I'll call you when dinner's ready. Bai Ningbing gave a slight smile and left. I put on my apron and got back to work. Once dinner was ready and on the table, I went to knock on Bai Ningbing's door. Bai Ningbing let go of her mouse. She casually closed all the tabs on her screen. Only then did she get up to eat. The two of us usually didn't have much to say to each other. I didn't intend to start a conversation either, but today was an exception. As soon as Bai Ningbing sat down, she spoke up. Someone is coming to install a dishwasher tomorrow. My hand, reaching for food, froze. You bought a dishwasher. Didn't I say I'd take my time and pick one out? Didn't you say you have trouble making decisions? So I just picked one out for you. You just need to use it. He felt a bit helpless. All right. I'll try to stay home tomorrow then. The topic ended there. As we were about to continue eating, my phone rang. Hello? Hello. I froze for a moment. I couldn't react in time. Why would Bai Ningbing tell me to go meet Song Qinyan? Song Qinyan's voice continued from the other end. Xiao Wu. Don't let one setback make you hostile toward everyone. Not everyone wants to kick you while you're down or treat you like a joke. Even if I can't do much, I can at least talk to you and help cheer you up a bit. You've been suffering in silence for so long. Do you really have to keep all that frustration bottled up? In the past, in front of the original me, Song Qinyan always played the role of an older brother, thoughtful and understanding. The original me told him everything, which is why whatever he said, the original me would follow. Because of that, when faced with my cold attitude, Song Qinyan instinctively assumed I was just playing hard to get. Fine. If you say so, then I'll come meet you once. Let's see what you have to say. I received a signal from Bai Ningbing, so I had to agree. The person on the other end sounded very satisfied. We exchanged a few more words and hung up. Why did you tell me to go meet him? Bai Ningbing set down her chopsticks and said calmly, Mr. Song never does anything unless there's something in it for him. When he sought you out before, it was because he wanted information from you about my movements. Now, even though you're no longer useful to him, he's still looking for you. He must have discovered something about you that he can exploit. If you don't go, he'll just find another way. He understood immediately. The implication was that it was unavoidable anyway. It was better to just be decisive and give the other party a chance to approach on my terms. Sure enough, Bai Ningbing's next words were, regardless of the situation, maintaining some level of initiative is always better than having none at all. Besides, it's better to know they have bad intentions and be on guard than to be completely unaware and get stabbed in the back. Yeah, I get it. It's not that I don't know this logic. It's just that in my previous life, I never had to think this much. I still haven't fully adapted to my current role, let alone this environment. Still, the usually quiet eldest Miss Bai, suddenly telling me all this. Is she lecturing me? Across from me, Bai Ningbing picked up her chopsticks again and ate slowly. From my perspective, the way this woman eats is as elegant as ever. It's as if she doesn't. It's as if she doesn't think it's a big deal that someone is plotting against me. Right. Plotting against me, with the original mez status. I don't feel like I have any value. Worth Song Qinyan coming to scheme over. The only thing worth plotting for is eldest Miss Bai Ningbing herself. Bai Ningbing, regarding my meeting with Song Qinyan, the only instruction she gave was to chat freely, but avoid any sensitive topics. Then report back to her. I nodded, keeping it in mind. Song Qinyan invited me to a famous cafe in the city. When I got the notification, I looked it up online. The cheapest drink was over 200 yuan. I've never been this extravagant before. On the day of the meeting, I made sure to dress up and look sharp, even though I knew I'd probably be mocked later. At the very least, I couldn't let them criticize my appearance. I couldn't look like a total slob. However, I never in a million years expected the first thing Song Qinyan would say when he saw me would still be a put down. Xiao Wu, I know you're hurting inside. You've always been so competitive. But now that things have come to this, there's no need to put on an act in front of me. It's not like I'm going to look down on you. If I didn't know exactly what kind of person Song Qinyan was, I might have actually believed that he had my best interests at heart to say those words, while keeping such a worried face, acting like he's genuinely concerned for me. It really couldn't have been easy. You're quite the joker, young Master Song. No matter how hard life gets, one can't just neglect their appearance. Besides, since I am this handsome, it would be a waste not to show it off. You're only young once, so naturally, I can't let a single day go to waste, especially with my natural gifts. If I didn't keep myself looking sharp, it would be a sin to waste the gifts God gave me, since he was the one who brought the knife first, and I am not exactly a pushover. I aimed straight for his heart and stabbed back. Right. Our Xiao Wu is indeed the most handsome. Come on, I know you've been in a bad mood lately. Let's go have some tea and chat. I might not be able to help with much else, but I can certainly listen to you vent. Just let out all that frustration, and you'll naturally feel better. He kept his smile and patted my shoulder. The staff led us to a private room with the best view. Incredibly peaceful. I silently marveled this really is where the rich hang out. It's definitely way fancier than those small tea shops. Just this spacious courtyard alone is enough to blow most other places away. This level of design. One look and you can tell, it's masterclass. Song Chunyan saw me looking at the courtyard. Seeing me staring out there, he probably thought I was reminiscing about my old wealthy life. He sneered inwardly, but on the outside, he said gently, "Xiao Wu, what would you like to drink?" I snapped out of it, my eyes lighting up. I rattled off a long list of orders, all the items I had researched online that were famous specialties of this place. Xiao Wu, you ordered so much. Will you even be able to finish it all later? I knew Song Qinyan was suspicious, wondering why I suddenly didn't care about my pride and was acting like I'd never eaten before, but I had no intention of hiding it. If I can't finish it, he'll just pack it up and take it home. It's not a big deal. Take it home? You're going to pack up leftovers? Are you really that hard up for cash? That's right. It's a waste to leave food behind if you can't finish it. I am not who I used to be, so naturally, I have to save every penny I can. Besides, being thrifty is one of our great traditional virtues. What's the matter, young Master Song? Are you surprised? Or do you have an issue with our traditional virtues? Song Qinyan opened his mouth to speak, but found he couldn't argue with a single word. He was stunned for a moment before awkwardly saying, "You're right. You're doing great. There's nothing wrong with that." Yeah, I think so too. The old me was definitely too extravagant. Buying so many designer goods I clearly didn't need. It was a waste of money, not to mention time and effort. If I could have used that time to do something meaningful, how much better would that have been? Look, there are clearly so many people in this world who need help. Why couldn't the old me see that? If I had taken that money to sponsor children in remote areas, it would have been such a good deed. Better than buying piles of designer clothes to rot in the house. By the way, young Master Song, you're so kind and wonderful. You must have helped a lot of people in need, right? Song Qinyan is a total fraud. He's great at building an image for himself, but helping the poor? In his dreams, he doesn't have a charitable bone in his body. He barely thinks he has enough money for himself, so there's no way he'd be kind enough to give it to others. Yet, he still smiled with total sincerity. That's right. In my spare time, I also occasionally help those who are struggling. After all, my parents taught me from a young age to share with others and help those in distress. Song Qinyan thought I was going to keep discussing charity with him, but I immediately switched topics. Since young Master Song is so generous even to strangers and so open-handed, we've known each other so long, and our relationship is so good. Now that I am in trouble and have become one of those struggling people, surely young Master Song intends to help us out. He never in his wildest dreams expected that someone as obsessed with saving face as I used to be could ever say something like that. He was completely taken aback. Young Master Song, you have no idea? My life right now is indescribably miserable. I don't even dare to buy a wristwatch. I have to face my wife's cold glare every single day, and I don't even dare mention the word money. When I call people, no one even picks up. Seeing Song Qinyan's expression start to shift, I decisively stood up, leaned in close to him, and grabbed his hand tightly. I held on and wouldn't let go. I didn't give him a chance to pull away. Young Master Song, only you are kind enough to still come looking for me. You're the only person I can rely on now. You're usually so generous, tossing around 200,000 or 300,000 yuan like it's nothing. When it comes to an old friend like me, surely you can't be stingy, right? You'll help me, won't you? After all, we're best brothers. I gripped Song Qinyan's hand even tighter. My tone was desperate, and seeing that he still hadn't responded, I added one more thing. Come to think of it, I still haven't reached out to those female friends we used to know, to have a little heart-to-heart. That last sentence hit Song Qinyan right where it hurt. He was starting to panic. Pretty much every woman he had his eye on didn't think much of him. On the surface, he acted all noble and refined, but behind his back, many people knew exactly what he was really like. There was no washing that clean. In the end, his family came up with a plan. They told him not to be too aggressive, and to try and let people's impressions of him fade. The reason he sought me out this time was also to get something done, just to show off in front of the woman he likes, to flex his status a bit. Xiao Wu, what kind of nonsense are you talking? What kind of relationship do we have? How could I just stand by and watch you suffer, without doing anything? Didn't I come to find you the moment I returned to the country? You know what I am like. I've always been a kind-hearted person. It pains me to see even a stranger suffer, let alone you. Don't worry. Although I don't have much cash on hand, I can still manage 100,000 or so. I'll transfer it to you in a bit. Take it and handle your emergencies, and don't you dare be polite with me. All right. Now that Miss Bai is bankrupt, what are your plans? How would I know about any of that? You know me. My major back then had nothing to do with business. Even if she told me everything, I wouldn't understand a word of it. Anyway, as long as there's still food on the table, I am fine. She's always a busy person. I have no idea what she's busy with. I wouldn't understand even if I asked. So I just don't. Since I don't get it, he just stopped asking altogether. I was actually planning on getting a divorce, but then I heard her say she wasn't in debt. So I figured I'd just keep living like this. I heard Liu Ruyan went to see you afterward, but that guy is no good either. Even if I am useless, I can't lose face in front of him. I just pretended that I'd stand by Bai Ningbing's side, just to spite him. He was never as good as Bai Ningbing before, and he's still not as good as her now. I might not be anyone special, but considering Bai Ningbing has fallen this far, and still hasn't made life difficult for me, it's clear she's a decent person. I'd rather trust someone with good character than a piece of trash like him. But still, maybe Miss Liu only realized after losing you that you're the one she truly loves. You've never had to suffer before. If these hard times keep dragging on, when will they ever end? Actually, I feel like my life right now isn't really that hard. Back when we had money, every day was full of drama. My head was filled with all sorts of chaotic thoughts. I could only rely on shopping to vent. Now, on the contrary, it's much more peaceful. I can do whatever I want. It's not like I am someone who can't handle a little hardship. Didn't I live like this before I went to college? So, this is actually fine. I don't have any complaints. I just need to figure out a way to make some money later. Are you planning to go out and find a job yourself? How could that work? What could you even do? Think about it. If you're working as a cashier or at a supermarket, and you run into someone we know, how would that look? Good jobs aren't easy to find. Only unskilled labor is left. Could you even handle that? What's so hard about it? I am a graduate from a prestigious university. After all, even though I've never worked before, I can learn. I have all the basic qualifications, like my English skills or my professional abilities. I am totally fine. It was only then that Song Qinyan remembered that he really did rely on his own merit to get into that top-tier school. And only after that did he meet Bai Ningbing and Liu Ruyin. By comparison, his own academic performance was a mess. He was just a golden failure who bought his way through. His mood soured instantly, but he still acted tough. While degrees are important, experience is just as vital. You're only starting to learn now. You definitely won't be able to compete with the fresh graduates. It won't be easy at all. I'll just give it a shot. Since I could get into a top school, then adapting to a simple job shouldn't be harder than the college entrance exams. Right? Oh, look at me. My apologies for being so careless. I shouldn't have brought this up in front of you. Don't mind me. Young Master Song. It's normal that you wouldn't understand. Don't worry about it. After all, you don't need to work for a living. I really envy you. At home, you rely on your family, and in the future, you can rely on your wife. You don't have to do anything yourself. You can just eat your fill and wait for the end. That must be so nice. To put it bluntly, he's a useless person who knows nothing and just leeches off others. Song Qinyan had to try incredibly hard to keep his face from twitching. He thought bitterly, with a mouth like that, no wonder he's having such a run of bad luck. Meanwhile, I felt incredibly refreshed. The two of us traded barbs, both fully aware of the subtext, yet maintaining a polite facade on the surface, while occasionally slipping in a jab. The difference was, the points Song Qinyan used to attack me didn't bother me in the slightest, but every time I poked him, it was a critical hit to his ego. By the time we parted ways, I was over the moon. While Song Qinyan was so frustrated he was about to have an aneurysm. Before leaving, I didn't forget to remind him, don't forget to transfer the money. Song Qinyan had planned to invite me out again, to flaunt his superiority and fish for information. He nodded to show he understood. Then, he reluctantly transferred 100,000 yuan to me. I took the money and headed home happily. When I got back, Bai Ningbing was sitting on the sofa looking at her laptop. Hearing the door open, Bai Ningbing shifted her gaze toward me. I walked in and changed my shoes and clothes. Even when I went to the bathroom to wash my hands, a smile remained plastered on my face. I was clearly in a great mood. I am home. Ha 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 ha. I went out today and made 100,000 yuan for doing nothing. Don't you think I am amazing? I waved the phone I always carried with me, my tone unable to hide my smugness. 100,000 for nothing? Song Qinyan gave it to you. Exactly. He acted all superior the moment we met. He was trying to dig for info, but I skillfully turned the tables on him. Then I intentionally played the poor and miserable card while flattering him. I backed him into a corner, then conveniently mentioned that if he didn't show some sincerity toward me, I'd go around telling everyone we know that he has no heart. To protect his image, he had no choice but to bleed a little. Bai Ningbing remained silent. She thought about how the original owner used to swipe cards for bags all day. Yet the person in front of her was this happy over 100,000 yuan. A strange feeling welled up inside her. It would be stupid not to take his money. Squeezing money out of Song Qinyan's pocket is definitely no easy feat. Come on, open your Alipay. I'll transfer it to you. Let me send it over. It's free money anyway. Consider it him paying you back for all the money you spent on him before. Just take it and spend it. Don't worry about us running out of money. Bai Ningbing found this quite novel. He actually had that just take it and spend it generous vibe. Is there something you need me to do? Huh. No, we're not short on anything at home lately, and nothing is broken. That wasn't what Bai Ningbing meant. However, looking at my expression, it was clear I didn't catch her drift. I really took out my phone and opened Alipay. I held it out in front of her, with total naturalness. I transferred the money that hadn't even warmed my pocket yet to her account, as if giving her the money was the most natural thing in the world. You're giving me this free money, just like that. Don't you feel bad? It was your money to begin with. Back when you treated young Master Song to all those meals, wasn't that your money? Now that we're broke, if he's paying it back, It should obviously go to you, even though I do love money. Right now, I prefer earning it myself. I've already started making money from my writing. With me around, I won't let you go hungry. We might not have gourmet feasts, but I can definitely keep you full with simple home cooking. Well then, thank you very much. Don't mention it. You treated me pretty well in the past, anyway. Oh, right. I packed some food to bring back. No one's touched these dishes yet. Do you want to have some? Although Bai Ningbing grew up in luxury, she was never one to be wasteful, except for when she had to act generous for business. In the past, her meals at home were just normal daily food. It's just that the chef's skills were quite good. Back then, during her school days, she had eaten leftovers before too. Sure. I didn't expect her to actually agree to eat it. I thought the great Miss Bay wouldn't touch this stuff, so I stammered, I just remembered. The stuff I brought back is all sweets. That's fine. What's the problem? I had to go to the door and bring the bag in. When I opened it, sure enough, it was all various kinds of pastries. Bai Ningbing naturally picked one up and took a bite. She swallowed it and commented, "This tastes a bit better when it's hot. You've had this before?" Bai Ningbing glanced at me. She leisurely pulled out a tissue to wipe her hands. Grandpa used to love these. Old Master Bai used to be very fond of them, so the eldest miss would occasionally buy them for him. Or maybe Old Master Bai had her try them. It suddenly clicked for me. Doing this just made the eldest miss nostalgic and sad. I suddenly felt a bit guilty. You don't need to feel bad. The past has nothing to do with the present, so there's no need to apologize. By the way, what do you want for dinner tonight? I'll cook for you. I still felt quite ashamed. She's a high-born lady who took such good care of the original owner. Since I transmigrated here, she's never made things hard for me. Yet here I am, rubbing salt in her wounds, while her business is failing. I went and hurt her feelings too. That was really out of line. Anything is fine. I still have things to do. I have to head out again in a bit. I'll be back a little late tonight. Got it. Go ahead and take care of your business. I'll wait for you for dinner. Bai Ningbing glanced at me. She was going to say he didn't need to wait for her, but seeing my guilty expression, she decided not to say it. After Bai Ningbing left the house, I thought for a moment. Then I gave the house a thorough cleaning. I sat down to write for a while, then went out to the market. Around Act PM, the sound of the door opening echoed. I looked up from my writing screen. Bai Ningbing had just walked in. He quickly saved my draft. You're back. The food should still be warm. Are you hungry? Bai Ningbing took off her coat and hung it up. The biting cold that clung to her from outside was instantly dispelled by the warmth of the home. She glanced over and saw the dining table already set. The food was all carefully covered to keep it warm. Bai Ningbing changed her shoes and walked in. You waited until now? You must be starving, right? Let me wash my hands first. I am fine. Not that hungry. I might not be able to come home often. In the future, if I am not coming back, I'll let you know. You should eat first. Don't wait for me anymore. Alright, I figured as much. Someone like Bai Ningbing wouldn't be like a regular 9-to-5 worker who comes home for dinner at the same time every day. It's actually less work for me if she doesn't come back. I can just whip up something simple for myself, driven by my guilt. He made quite a lavish dinner tonight. I even went through the trouble of making handmade steamed buns, all sorts of cute small steamed buns, flour rolls, sugar-filled buns, corn cakes, sweet potato rolls, and so on. They looked absolutely adorable. They were small enough to finish in 2 or 3 bites. Bai Ningbing picked up a flour roll. She finished it in just a few bites. After eating, she felt the taste was quite good. These buns are delicious, right? Right? Back then, in order to research how to make the perfect steamed buns, I spent 3 or 4 whole days on it. Then I figured out the exact ratios and timing. That's how they turned out like this. My favorites are the flour rolls and sugar buns. My friends all love them too. Whenever I had free time, I suddenly stopped mid-sentence. I got too excited and almost let something slip. This skill is indeed impressive. Are you talking about your college friends? Oh, yeah. Just friends, you know. We haven't really kept in touch since graduation. It's been a long time since I made these. I am surprised I haven't lost my touch. Luckily, the eldest miss didn't think too much of it. Otherwise, she definitely would have gotten suspicious. He felt relieved, not noticing that the person across from me had a very intrigued look in her eyes. Oh right, I simmered this chicken soup for a long time today. Have some more. My chicken soup is always top tier. Bai Ningbing really liked the soup. Store-bought soup always lacks that certain something. But the soup I made was rich and full of flavor. She knew deep down, it wasn't just about the taste. It was the feeling of someone being willing to put in the effort to brew a pot of soup just for her. When she was little, Bai Ningbing's mother also loved making chicken soup for her, though the taste was honestly pretty terrible, but because she always said that chicken soup was good for a child's health. Bai Ningbing was always forced by her father to finish every last drop. After her parents passed away in that accident, Bai Ningbing had tried all kinds of chicken soup. The Bai family's chefs and even the maids had all tried to perfect the recipe. Sadly, no one could recreate that specific flavor. As Bai Ningbing grew older, she stopped showing much interest in chicken soup. The whole matter had been forgotten. Bai Ningbing felt that the reason she was so tolerant of the man in front of her was largely due to a specific reason. It was because of the way he occasionally showed that feeling of being like a caretaker. Why are you looking at me like that? Is there something on my face? I noticed Bai Ningbing was staring intently at me. Doesn't she know that when she stares at someone like that, it puts a lot of pressure on them? Or did she find something wrong again? You seem to have dark circles under your eyes. Really? I stood up to check the mirror. I stared into the mirror for a long time. It felt like I could indeed see a faint trace of them, so I really am getting dark circles. I couldn't help but shudder. Bai Ningbing had just made a casual remark. She didn't expect my reaction to be so dramatic. After waiting a long time for me to come out, she asked curiously, "What's wrong? Are you not eating anymore?" As soon as she spoke, she saw me walking out sheepishly. It's probably from staying up late writing my novel lately. Actually, a few dark circles won't hurt anything. You're still very handsome. Hearing Bai Ningbing compliment me so suddenly, my cheeks flushed bright red. I finished the meal in awkward silence. I stood up to clear the dishes, but Bai Ningbing stopped me. "Let me do it today." No, it's fine. I can handle it." With that, I took the dishes from Bai Ningbing's hands and hurried into the kitchen. Bai Ningbing gave a soft smile and shook her head, letting him have his way. As she walked through the living room, she saw the laptop still open with a text file on the coffee table. Curiosity got the better of her, so she walked over, intending to see what I had been writing. I finished cleaning up and walked out, only to see a sight that left me stunned. Bai Ningbing was sitting elegantly on the sofa, with one hand resting on her chin, reading my novel with intense focus. "Don't look." I practically lunged toward her. I was terrified she'd think I was some kind of freak. "Why can't I look? Is it that badly written?" "Fine. Stop then." While I was secretly worrying if my reaction had been too aggressive, she stopped at the bedroom door and suddenly dropped a comment. "Actually, I think the female lead, abandoning her company just to be with the male lead, is a bit too much. If she's really the CEO of a company, she wouldn't have that much free time." After saying that, she went into her bedroom and closed the door behind her, leaving me sitting dazed where she had just been, with my eyes wide in shock. Eldest Miss Bai, I actually read at least 2 chapters, and they were the 2 most melodramatic chapters too. Having my novel criticized like that, I am not mad at all. I just want to explain things to Bai Ningbing a little. The story I wrote is a romance novel. After all, it's fiction, completely detached from reality. If I wrote a CEO exactly like they are in real life, it would be full of boring, dry details, and no reader would ever want to read that. Too bad the eldest miss doesn't understand web novels. Explaining it to her would just be a waste of breath. Early morning. A few days later, Bai Ningbing finished breakfast but hadn't gone out yet. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. I had just finished washing the dishes and walked out, so I went to get the door. Who could it be? How strange. Who would come over this early in the morning? The person outside didn't answer and kept knocking. I looked through the peephole to see who it was. I saw 2 young women standing outside. Both were incredibly stylish and exuded an elegant aura. Either of them could easily be a movie star on TV. One look, and you could tell they weren't ordinary people. My heart skipped a beat. I turned around and knocked on Bai Ningbing's bedroom door. "Someone's knocking at the door. I think they're here for you." Bai Ningbing let go of her mouse, stood up, and walked out. She noticed my anxious expression. "There are 2 women outside. They definitely don't look like ordinary people. See if they're here looking for you. I don't think I've ever seen them before." What I didn't say was, I was afraid they were here to cause trouble for Bai Ningbing. My mind was racing with all sorts of scenarios. What if they really came here to pick a fight? Outside, Song Qingyuan knocked on the door again. She turned to Wu Yuaning, who was standing next to her. "Are you sure you didn't remember it wrong? Is this really Second Sister's current place? Why isn't anyone answering the door? You don't think she's out, do you? Didn't you say Second Sister still hasn't divorced? That guy surnamed Gu? Is he not home either? If you ask me, who am I supposed to ask? I told you we didn't need to come, but you just wouldn't listen. Second Sister has been really busy lately. You're not missing an arm or a leg. Second Sister is in no rush to see you, but I still have to see her. I haven't seen Second Sister in a whole year, and with all the bad luck she's been having lately, how can I be at ease without seeing her with my own eyes?" She pouted and stubbornly continued knocking on the door, except this time, she switched to straight-up pounding on it. The door suddenly opened. "Why are you 2 here, Second Sister? I missed you to death. Your little sister is back." Song Qingyuan cheered in surprise. She rushed straight up to Bai Ningbing and threw her arms around her. Then she let go. All right. As expected. In Little Fifth's heart, Second Sister is the closest. The rest of us are just freebies thrown in. Hurry up and come inside." I stood behind them, completely dumbfounded. I stood behind them, staring blankly. Second Sister. Could these 2 be? Second Sister. Could these 2 be 2 of the eldest Miss Best Friends? 2 of the eldest Miss Best Friends? Song Qingyuan walked in excitedly, but as soon as she turned her head, she bumped right into my bewildered face. She froze too, pointing at me. "Why is there a man here?" Pointing at me. "Why is there a man here?" Pointing at me. "Why is there a man here? You're Gu Xiaoyu." "Wait, no, you're. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why wouldn't I be here? We're married, aren't we?" Second sister, it's one thing that you haven't divorced him yet. Second sister, it's one thing that you haven't divorced him yet, but you're still living with him? Are we supposed to sleep on the streets? If we don't live here, are we supposed to sleep on the streets? If we don't live here, are we supposed to sleep on the streets? Where do you get all these crazy ideas? Xiao Yu and I haven't divorced yet. Xiao Yu and I haven't divorced yet. So what's so strange about us living together? So what's so strange about us living together? Go ahead and have a seat first. Go ahead and have a seat first. Song Qingyuan opened her mouth to speak, but she really couldn't force a smile at me. But she really couldn't force a smile at me. But she really couldn't force a smile at me. So she just pretended not to see me. She walked around the sofa and sat down. Wu Yuaning nodded at me and went over to sit down too. Wu Yuaning nodded at me and went over to sit down too. Wu Yuaning nodded at me and went over to sit down too. Since we had guests, I went to the dining room to pour some tea. I went to the dining room to pour some tea and brought it over. I went to the dining room to pour some tea and brought it over. A moment later, I saw the three women sitting on the sofa. I saw the three women, each sitting on a different corner of the sofa, except for Bai Ningbing. Except for Bai Ningbing. The other two were staring right at me. That unspeakable awkwardness made me want to leave immediately. Made me want to leave immediately. I have some things to take care of this morning, so I'll head out first. You guys go ahead and chat. I won't be home for lunch. With that, I hurried into the bedroom, grabbed my jacket. With that, I hurried into the bedroom, grabbed my jacket, packed a few things, and quickly headed out the door. Packed a few things, and quickly headed out the door. Ever since Bai Ningbing said that, Song Qingyuan looked at her with absolute shock and disbelief. Song Qingyuan looked at her with absolute shock and disbelief. Song Qingyuan looked at her with absolute shock and disbelief. I had just stepped out and closed the door behind me. I had just stepped out and closed the door behind me. I had just stepped out and closed the door behind me. I had just stepped out and closed the door behind me. She had this indescribable look on her face when he mentioned eating at home. She had this indescribable look on her face when he mentioned eating at home. She had this indescribable look on her face when he mentioned eating at home. Second sister, did you just call this place home? Second sister, did you just call this place home? It would have been fine if she hadn't said anything, but as soon as she did, Bai Ningbing paused for a moment before quickly returning to her calm demeanor. We've been eating his cooking lately. His cooking actually isn't bad at all. His cooking actually isn't bad at all. Second sister, are you really planning to keep living with this man? Aside from his pretty face, he has absolutely nothing else going for him. He has absolutely nothing else going for him. And it's not like we have a shortage of handsome guys around us. I don't believe for a second you'd keep him around just for his looks. I don't believe for a second you'd keep him around just for his looks. I don't believe for a second you'd keep him around just for his looks. If you liked him, you would have liked him a long time ago, but it shouldn't be to this extent. Forgive me for being blunt. Among all the handsome guys of his type over the years, among all the handsome guys of his type over the years, among all the handsome guys of his type over the years, I haven't seen anyone better than him. I haven't seen anyone better than him. Secondly, when you haven't seen someone for 3 days, you have to look at them in a new light. You have to look at them in a new light. Before you went abroad, you didn't understand him. And after coming back, you never interacted with him. Where do you get the confidence to judge him? Where do you get the confidence to judge him? Lastly, do you think second sister is an idiot? There must be a reason she's indulging Xiao Yu like this. Don't forget, in the eyes of outsiders, our second sister is now completely penniless. Our second sister is now completely penniless. Under these circumstances, for Xiao Yu to still stay. Under these circumstances, for him to still stay. Under these circumstances, for him to still stay. Stay for what? Previously, when helping Bai Ningbing look up information. Previously, when helping Bai Ningbing look up information. Wu Yuaning had also reviewed it very carefully. Wu Yuaning had also reviewed it very carefully. The conclusion she drew afterward was very bizarre. The conclusion she drew afterward was very bizarre. She guessed that Bai Ningbing wanted to keep him around. Bai Ningbing wanted to keep him close to observe him slowly. After all, an open spear is easy to dodge. After all, an open spear is easy to dodge. But a hidden arrow is hard to guard against. But before Song Qingyuan could nod in agreement, but before she could nod to signal Bai Ningbing, they heard words that completely shocked them. It's not as complicated as you guys think. He's changed. He's actually doing really well now. The reason he's living here is because he has nowhere else to go. Now that he's free, he'll earn his own money and cook. He's just going back to the life he had before college. Then why won't he divorce you? What does getting a divorce have to do with him starting his life over? Why is he so dead set on staying by your side? There's another reason for that. You guys don't need to know. Just be a little more polite to him from now on. He's not as bad as everyone thinks. Song Qingyuan wanted to ask something else, but Wu Yuaning cut her off. Second sister has her own plans. We obviously don't need to worry. Since Xiao Yu isn't what we thought, well, just be more polite to him from now on. Little fifth, I am not trying to lecture you. I know you're close to second sister, but could you not blow up? Could you not blow up every time something involves second sister? Don't be so impulsive. Stop copying little sixth all the time. You're going to turn your brain to mush if you keep acting like him. I am not. How can you compare me to that idiot little sixth? You're getting pretty close. Last time, we told little Six not to go to the banquet to find second sister, but he couldn't hold back and ran over anyway, and almost caused trouble for her. You two are exactly the same, cut from the same cloth. I am not. I just got back to the country, so I don't know the situation, and you didn't explain it clearly to me either. You were being all vague and secretive. The fact that I didn't die of anxiety shows how strong my mentality is. Song Qingyuan glared at Wu Yuaning. The latter just replied with a soft chuckle. Let's drop it. Little Fifth, now that you're back, are you planning to work at the Song Corporation? I don't want to go there at all, but my old man is forcing me to. You guys know me. I have zero interest in the automotive industry. It's so annoying. I am not interested at all, but the worst part is, I actually have a talent for it. Back in high school, I helped my dad find a flaw in a newly developed car model. And you expect my dad to let me off the hook? Just thinking about giving birth to a child born for the family business like me, being the daughter of a service industry tycoon. He probably wakes up laughing in his sleep. Please, spare me. If I had known my old man was that cunning, I wouldn't have fallen for his trick in the first place. My brief period of free time is about to leave me. My poor food industry dreams are about to be snatched away by my dad. Come to think of it, it really pisses me off. That old man never once revealed his inner foodie soul, yet he managed to hide it for so many years. It's truly terrifying. Being pushed to succeed by your elders is a blessing, you know. Uncle Song has put a lot of thought into you. You should cherish it. It'll never have the refined taste for classical culture like second sister does. All tea tastes exactly the same to me. Isn't it better to just chug it down and enjoy the feeling? Ha ha ha, you're right. As long as it hits the spot, that's all that matters. Ha ha, getting laughed at. But Song Qingyuan didn't mind at all. So what if I don't have the refined taste of a cultured person? It is what it is. It's not a big deal anyway. I could never compare to second sister to begin with. By the way, second sister, what are you planning to do? I don't believe my brother-in-law is really that capable. How can anyone in this world be a prophet, always staying one step ahead in everything? Are you absolutely sure there's no mole? Second sister, are you sure? The faint smile that had been lingering on Bei Ningbing's face suddenly vanished. She took a sip of water. I am not sure where the problem lies. Even when I hadn't told anyone about my plans, not a single soul, they still managed to figure it out. If it were just a mole, that wouldn't explain this at all. As she spoke about this, Song Qingyuan and Wu Yuaning listened intently. Do you want me to check your belongings again? Maybe it's some kind of advanced surveillance tech that I missed before. Probably not. I tested that theory later on. I changed locations without bringing a single thing with me. Even bought a completely new wardrobe. But the situation didn't improve at all. Does he seriously have some kind of superpower? Our eldest sister, and the others completely out of options too? There's nothing we can do. We even teamed up to attack him once, but whether it was a trap or a direct confrontation, he managed to dodge it all. And somehow, he managed to connect with the Wen family. Then old Master Wen personally stepped in to mediate, which was basically a warning to us. How could the old master do that? Didn't he stop caring about the petty squabbles of the younger generation a long time ago? That guy surnamed G is absolutely sickening. The moment things get tough, he calls in outside help. Does he think this is an elementary school playground fight? You hit me, so I hit you back? Damn it. Why would old Master Wen help him? I've never heard that old Master Wen was such a compassionate person. I heard it's because his wife accidentally saved old Master Wen's life, and she really hit it off with him, too. But why does he keep targeting second sister? Second sister obviously has so many businesses, even if he's pouring all his effort into the construction industry. It shouldn't clash with any of second sister's other sectors. Bai Ningbing looked at her two younger sisters, whose faces had darkened. She suddenly smiled. All right, isn't it much better now? Don't worry, you guys. Right now, I have nothing to lose. It's the perfect time to see what he's really trying to do. Being completely penniless is the only way to figure out whether he's deliberately targeting me as a person, or if he just wants to swallow up my businesses to fuel his own growth. So, second sister, are you planning to just develop your tech industry from now on? That sector requires massive investment. Who knows when you'll actually see any results? Tech is the best industry for the future. I'd actually wanted to restructure and upgrade for a long time. Before, I had to weigh my options carefully because I was carrying the dead weight of those bloodsuckers in the Bai family. Now that the burden is gone, I feel much more relieved. That's good then. I guess it's a twisted way of helping you drop some baggage, but the fact that you took a huge loss is also true. Once he take over my family's business, it'll help you deal with him. You don't believe that he can predict every single plan. Don't add to the chaos. Taking over your family's business and just learning the ropes will take you a while. By the time you're done, second sister will have already rebuilt everything. You better just focus on your own stuff. Second sister is way better at scheming than you are. At worst, she still has us. She's been busy for so many years, she finally gets a chance to rest. What's the rush? Second sister, why aren't you worried at all? When has second sister ever been worried? Good point. I don't think I've ever seen second sister panic. All right, well, if you need anything, second sister, just call me. It'll be there in a heartbeat. The three of them chatted for a bit longer before heading out together. When I got back in the afternoon, the house was empty. I breathed a sigh of relief. Eldest Miss Bay's best friends all have such intense auras, and they made it painfully obvious that they didn't like me. It was a real test of my endurance. I said I had things to do outside, but honestly, I had nothing to do. I just made up an excuse to get out of there. Once I was out, I didn't even know where to go, so I ended up at an internet cafe. While I was typing away, the pretty girl playing games next to me kept glancing over at me. She was losing game after game. Then, just when she couldn't take it anymore, and was about to strike up a conversation, I switched to another computer. But even after I moved, the girl next to me scooted closer again and kept trying to talk to me, asking why I came here to write. It felt like she was trying to leech some positive energy off me. It left me completely speechless. Finally getting home put my mind at ease. I changed my clothes, stretched out comfortably, and flopped down onto the sofa. After thinking for a bit, I decided I wanted to take a shower. I pulled out my phone to check the message Bai Ningbing sent me. She really wasn't coming back until late tonight, so I headed straight for the bathroom, took a nice, refreshing hot shower, and stepped out. I towel-dried and blow-dried my hair, then casually made myself a glass of lemon tea. I brought out the pile of snacks I had bought earlier, happily curled up on the sofa, hesitated for a moment, decided to take a break from writing, and opened my laptop, finding a movie I've been planning to watch for a while, and happily starting it. While watching, if I am not stuffing my face with snacks, I am taking a sip of lemon tea, just a nice, refreshing sip. The absolute best thing in the world is having completely free time with zero responsibilities, taking a shower, drying my hair, and binge-watching a movie with snacks. Ever since I transmigrated into this world, this is the first time I have felt this good. As the movie slowly reaches its climax, I stare at the screen without Bing, completely forgetting about reality. Just as a door in the movie suddenly opens, an out-of-place sound of a door opening rings out. The post-production team deserves to get their pay doc. This door opening sound doesn't match the scene at all. Did you not eat lunch? Bai Ningbing's voice suddenly comes from the door, scaring the living daylights out of me. The potato chip in my hand drops onto my crossed legs. I look up to see Bai Ningbing's frowning face. Bai Ningbing stands there, tall and slender, her head tilted slightly to the side, just staring at me. No, I should say, just staring right through me. In Bai Ningbing's eyes, the man standing a few steps away is staring back at her with wide, dumbfounded eyes, like a small animal frozen in fear. Yeah, kind of like a startled koala. You. Weren't you supposed to come back late tonight? I barely managed to snap out of it and find my voice. I can't even hide the awkwardness on my face, and my words carry a hint of complaint. Bai Ningbing changes into her slippers and walks in, shifting her gaze away. I finished my work, so I came home. Xiao Wu originally insisted on going to see his company, but Elder Song suddenly called him over, so Xiao Wu had to head back first to see what was going on. The company visit had to be put on hold. The company isn't going anywhere anyway. I can see it sooner or later, no rush. A day or two won't make a difference. Did you not eat lunch? My hand grabs a corner of the potato chip bag, carefully pulling it out bit by bit, as if force a smile. I ate. I just had some free time, so I was watching a movie and having some snacks. As I speak, I pull the bag of chips under the table and immediately toss it into the trash can. In the original owner's memories, the eldest Miss Bay never touched junk food. This makes me feel like eating snacks in front of her is a very unclassy thing to do. It's all junk food. Eat less of it. Yeah. I only eat a little bit occasionally. By the way, are you eating dinner at home tonight? Hearing the familiar words at home, Bai Ningbing's eyes shift slightly. Yeah, I had already planned what takeout to order tonight, but now I have to cook myself. Guess I can't watch my movie anymore. Looks like this little doggy got excited for nothing. The great joys and sorrows of the human world always come so unexpectedly. What's wrong with you? Seeing that I didn't ask her like usual what she wanted to eat, Bai Ningbing, who was pouring water, turns to look at me. I realize that my expression actually looks a bit pitiful. And nothing. What do you want for dinner tonight? Anything is fine. Just make whatever you see fit. Then I'll make meatball soup. There's still a lot of okara left from making soy milk this morning. I was originally going to fry the meatballs tonight and make soup tomorrow morning. Since you're back, I'll just make it now. Alright, I am going to get to work. Go on. I'll call you when it's done. Waiting for Bai Ningbing to return to her room, I shift my gaze to the computer screen. Catching a glimpse of my reflection on it, I suddenly realized that I was so busy hiding the snacks earlier that I forgot I hadn't even combed my hair. I finally understand why the eldest Miss Bay's gaze was so weird just now. I jump right off the sofa, dash straight into the bathroom, grab a comb, and frantically brush my hair, screaming internally, why did I let myself go like this? Do I not know what Murphy's Law is? Now look what happened, showing up looking like that in front of the eldest Miss Bai. I could just die of embarrassment, thinking back to just now, to the eldest, Miss Bay's elegant and noble demeanor. I just want to smash my head into the mirror. Honestly, I am not someone who cares too much about appearances, but for some reason, Bai Ningbing easily makes people feel like. If you stand next to her without dressing properly, you instantly look like a slob. I highly suspect that the reason Bai Ningbing is hated by others is partly because of this. She usually interacts with the rich and powerful, young second-generation heirs who grew up in high society. Normally, they all have a sense of superiority over ordinary people. But then there's this one person who, whenever she steps out, uses her aura to crush everyone else into feeling like nobodies. How could anyone not feel intimidated meeting her? The original owner in the past never thought about trying to win Bai Ningbing over, simply because he didn't have the guts or the courage. And now, I have to go cook for this walking masterpiece, and I have to make it delicious too. Then, I have to maintain absolute courage, to ignore her charm and sit across from her to eat. Frying meatballs always leaves a greasy smell. I stare intently at the pan of oil with a serious face. My hands move swiftly, continuously shaping each meatball and dropping them into the oil. The room fills with a delicious aroma. An hour later, Ningbing steps out of her room. As soon as she opens the door, she smells the fried food. She also faintly hears some noise. Following the sound, she walks down to the kitchen and sees me with a serious expression. My movements are incredibly skilled, and I am humming a nameless tune, looking very pleased and enjoying myself. The golden brown meatballs are scooped out one by one little cutie fresh out of the pan, and a whole bunch of cuties lining up waiting to jump in. You're all such adorable little meatballs. You're definitely going to taste amazing. In a bit, I'll carefully turn you all into a delicious meatball soup. I won't let your hard lives go to waste. Can cooking really be this fun? He's truly the most unique person Bai Ningbing has ever met. Suddenly curious, she crosses her arms over her chest and leans against the doorframe to see what else I might do. Sure enough, I don't disappoint her. There aren't many meatballs left anyway. I scoop out the rest of the meatballs and turn around to chop the prep vegetables. I even continue talking to myself. You guys are adorable little cuties too. It must have been hard growing up to be this pretty. Huh. I'll treat you well too. I'll make sure you float beautifully on top of the soup. I won't let you live in vain. While happily talking to myself, my head is full of novel plots. The storyline is exploding in my brain, but as soon as I turn my head, I see a living, breathing person looming at the door. It scares me so much I stumble back 2 steps. My foot slips, and I fall backward. Bai Ningbing is also startled by me. She immediately reaches out to catch me, but before she can catch me, I manage to brace my hands on the sink behind me and stand back up steadily. Bai Ningbing's hand rests on my waist. A strange warmth makes me feel like I've been burned, and I shiver slightly. Why did you suddenly appear here? You almost made me fall flat on my face. Is something wrong? No, I just came out to pour a glass of water and heard some noise coming from you, so I came to check. I was just humming a few lines. Cooking in silence is a bit boring. Anyway, the meatballs are done frying. Oh, right? Do you want to taste one? Bai Ningbing hesitates for less than a second. Look at my memory. These fried meatballs smell great, but they aren't very healthy. If you're not hungry, just wait a little longer. Not healthy? Even if Bai Ningbing doesn't know much about these things, she knows that this kind of food is just a bit greasy, not exactly harmful to your health. She takes a step forward. How do you eat it? I freeze for a moment, realizing that Bai Ningbing actually wants to taste it. I instinctively hand her the chopsticks in my hand. Bai Ningbing takes the chopsticks and glances at them. She notices that I've already used them. Her movements pause. What's wrong? Nothing. She hands the chopsticks back to me. To my absolute shock, she reaches out, pinches a meatball with her fingers, and pops it into her mouth. I stare at the sight, my jaw dropping. The eldest Miss Bai actually eats meatballs with her bare hands. The freshly fried meatball is still piping hot. With one bite, the aroma of beans and oil spreads throughout her mouth. It's so hot that Bai Ningbing has to blow on it. Phew, it's actually really good. The distance between us was already close. Bai Ningbing stands right in front of me, finishing the meatball. She steps back a bit and glances at me. What are you staring blankly at? The face in front of me suddenly turns back. I jump in surprise again. Luckily, this time when I step back, my foot doesn't slip, and there's a wall behind me. My back hits the wall. What's wrong? Are the meatballs good? Not bad. If you don't have anything else to do, you should head out. There's a lot of greasy smoke in the kitchen. The meatballs are done frying. Making the soup is pretty simple. It should be done soon. Go on out. Go on. I'll call you when it's ready. I finally managed to finish making the meatball soup. My initial good mood has completely vanished. Bai Ningbing can clearly sense my mood is a bit gloomy. I scoop her a bowl full of meatballs, while I just sip on a bowl of clear broth. Didn't you fry a lot of meatballs? Why didn't you put more in? Is that not enough for you? I look up at her bowl. It's filled to the brim. Based on her usual appetite, it should be more than enough. Is she just really hungry today? I really like checking my weight. She suddenly figures it out. You ate too many snacks today. It's not a question, but a statement of fact. I feel like combined don't even weigh a kilo. She was just kindly advising me. I know. I'll try to cut back on snacks from now on. Bai Ningbing doesn't say anything else. She points a slender finger at my bowl. Your bowl. I smelled too much grease while cooking, so I lost my appetite. I don't want to eat. Like hell I'd admit that before calling her to eat, I stepped on the scale. I am a whole kilo heavier than a few days ago. Bai Ningbing doesn't say anything else. But seeing the way I eat, occasionally staring longingly at her bowl, my eyes practically screaming, I want to eat that so bad. And thinking about my pre-meal habit. Snacks are full of additives. You should cut back. If you want to eat, go out and eat. I'll figure out the money situation. I never in a million years expected Bai Ningbing to say something like that. The anger that had just sparked in my heart is instantly extinguished. She still keeps a calm expression, but her concern just now was genuine. My heart just got stabbed. I didn't. Bai Ningbing says nothing, just gives me a look. Fine. I did eat some snacks, but I only had a bowl of jelly, a box of cookies, a small bag of popcorn, and half a bag of potato chips. Saying it out loud makes it sound like a lot, but all those snacks combined don't even weigh a kilo, and just quietly eats her meal. After eating and washing the dishes, I go back to my work, my daily routine of writing my novel. Who would have thought that this time, Bai Ningbing wouldn't ignore me? Instead, she comes out of her bedroom and sits down next to me. I talked to those friends of mine today. From now on, they won't give you attitude like they did today. Their previous misunderstandings about you have all been cleared up. If they come over again in the future, you don't have to go out of your way to avoid them. Are you talking about your besties? Bai Ningbing nods. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter if they misunderstand me or not. They're your best friends anyway, not mine. I don't take it to heart. Besides, it's normal for them to find me an eyesore. I am definitely not the type of person they'd look favorably upon. As long as we stay out of each other's way from now on, it's fine. Whenever they come looking for you, it'll just head out. It'll be easier for you guys to talk. Plus, I really did have things to do today. Are you still planning to write your novel? Yeah. Are you done watching your movie? I still have a bit left. I'll watch it later when I am free. If you don't want me to know, you can buy some headphones and wear them. I quietly pull back the hand that was reaching for the cup and force an awkward smile. Why would I be embarrassed about you knowing? You're so well-read and knowledgeable. So scholarly. Is that supposed to be a big deal? She doesn't answer me, but picks up the cup of water and places it in front of me. If you want to write a good novel, just watching movies is useless. You have to analyze them. I'm not afraid of being bothered. Honestly, just watch it freely. Got it. Bai Ningbing stands up and returns to her bedroom. I take a sip of water and set the cup down. I still don't turn the movie back on. If I don't write, where am I going to get money? For the next few days, Bai Ningbing remains busy, leaving early and coming home late. Our daily routine has completely turned into just eating breakfast and dinner together, while during the day, we mind our own business. Today, Bai Ningbing comes home in the afternoon. I am typing away at the time, and don't even look up when I hear the door open. Out of habit, I say, "You're back?" A familiar child's voice rings out, the surprise and disgust in his words aren't hidden in the slightest. Why is he here? Are you two still not divorced? The one speaking is the son of Bai Ningbing's cousin. Bai Ningbing's cousin and his wife passed away in an accident. When she was alive, the boy's mother was the closest person to Bai Ningbing. After they died, the child was adopted by Bai Ningbing. The kid's name is Bai Chi. He's 8 years old this year, and he absolutely despises the original owner. You can't really blame the kid for being prejudiced against the original owner. It's honestly because the original owner never really liked kids. Ever since the kid appeared in his life, he never gave him a good look. That would be one thing. But once, when the kid was home from school and starving to death, the chef happened to be sick and took the day off. The kid was crying and begging for food. The original owner was busy going out to meet his fair weather friends, and without paying attention, ordered him something he couldn't eat, super spicy food. It made the kid sick for days after eating it. Because of this incident, Bai Ningbing slashed a huge chunk of the original owner's allowance. Since then, the two of them hated each other even more. That is, until I transmigrated here. I actually quite like kids, but little Bai Chu definitely doesn't like me. My stance just now was very clear. Your uncle and I aren't divorced, so it's perfectly normal for him to be here. Not only that, but you'll have to live with him from now on. He's in charge of your meals now. What? Auntie? You're not joking? Are you? Before, whenever he showed that he didn't like me in front of you, you never went out of your way to object. As long as it wasn't too much, you never even cared. Why is it different this time? Auntie, what they're saying isn't true. Is it? Are you really bankrupt and out of money? Is that why you're forced to put up with this man? I don't say anything. Very curious to see what Bai Ningbing will say. Bai Ningbing calmly curls her finger and flicks little Bai Q on the forehead. Even kids need to watch what they say. Don't think you can say whatever you want just because you're a child. Auntie is really bankrupt. I am completely out of money, so you don't have a choice. Bai Q's jaw dropped, his eyes widened, and he froze for 3 seconds. Then he shook his head vigorously. No way, Dad used to say. Auntie is the most amazing person ever. How could the most amazing person go bankrupt? Besides, your business is super duper huge. How could you just lose everything all of a sudden? I am not even grown up yet. How am I supposed to make money to support the family? I am still just a kid. Do I really have to shoulder the burden of providing for the family already? But what can I even do? I am only in the 3rd grade. How about, Auntie, You can take me to be a child model. I've learned how to walk the runway before. Anyway, plus, I am handsome. Someone will definitely hire me. No, that's impossible, because I don't have any backing anymore. I used to wonder why so many obviously ugly kids could become models. They don't just look at appearances. They look at family backgrounds. 2. You don't believe me? What family background do you even have left now? You're lying. You definitely know a lot of people. You've helped so many people in the past. Why don't you ask them to come help you? Then you need to remember this well. Adding flowers to brocade is easy, but sending charcoal in a snowstorm is hard. When you help others, don't expect them to help you back in the future. It's already good enough if they don't kick you when you're down. Bai Ningbing followed him into the bathroom. A voice echoed from the bathroom. Then what are we going to do? Are we going to be stuck here forever? Will I never get to eat good food again? Or wear nice clothes? The kids at school told me that. I am afraid you're going to have to transfer schools soon. Really? That's right. From now on, you'll have to stay here with me during the holidays. As for the food and clothes you used to have, I am afraid those are gone, too. As for transferring schools, do you want to transfer? Yes. My classmates all laugh at me. They thought I didn't know. I heard everything. But I am not going to transfer. My tuition is already paid for another semester. Bai Ningbing led Bai Qiu out. They walked over and sat down on the sofa in the living room. I had been pretending to type earlier. Now I couldn't just ignore them anymore. I quietly took out some tangerines. I placed them on the table in front of Bai Qiu and Bai Ningbing. There wasn't any other fruit in the house. You two just make do with these. But they all say I am really annoying when you don't have the strength yet. Being gossiped about or even mocked is completely normal. But even if you become successful and hold a high position in the future, people will still gossip and laugh at you. The situation will be much more severe than it is now. If you are strong enough, they'll avoid you and won't dare say it to your face. Xiao Qiu. Haven't you greeted your uncle yet? She said this while peeling a tangerine for Bai Qiu. When Bai Qiu reached out to take the tangerine, the little boy turned his head slightly to look at me. Bai Qiu turned his head to look. Hearing Bai Ningbing's words, I turned to look at the boy, about to say something but stopped myself. After a moment of hesitation, I asked Bai Ningbing, so what exactly should I call him? Why don't you just call him Xiao Yu? Okay, Uncle Xiao Yu. Are you on vacation? Are you off work? What do you want to eat? I'll cook for you. You know how to cook? Then why didn't you cook before? The boy looked at me with an innocent expression. But the question that came out was incredibly sharp. We had a chef at home before. You say that like it's true. Acting like you're so great or something. Rice is fine. Just some plain rice and a few simple stir-fries will do. However, there still had to be a little difference. While cooking, I put in more effort than usual, trying to decorate the rice and dishes, to make them look cute and child-friendly. Personally, I really like kids. In the past, with my bud as kid, I used to tease him from time to time. Seeing Bai Qiu just now, I really liked him. The little guy looked so incredibly cute. If it weren't for the fact that our relationship wasn't that great, I probably would have run over and hugged him already. Bai Qiu was led into the house by Bai Ningbing. A while later, I finished cooking and went to call them. Bai Qiu had changed into a set of pajamas and came out. He obediently washed his hands clean, then sat in the chair I had prepared for him. Seeing the food on the table, the boy looked very surprised. Did you make all of this? The boy pointed at the dishes on the table. Those dishes were all shaped into cute cartoon faces, even on the bowl of rice. Something was used to arrange a smiley face, of course. That was only for his portion. My rice and Bai Ningbing's were just normal. The kid gets his own special portion. It's his first day home for the holidays, so he deserves VIP treatment. I'll buy you a small set of bowls and chopsticks another day. Using adult utensils isn't convenient. You didn't have to go out of your way to prepare my food like this. I'm not a little kid anymore. You don't need to coax me like this. I eat normal food at school, too. I am already in the 3rd grade. Even if you were in college, in your aunt and uncle's eyes, you'd still be a kid. Besides, I decide what to cook. You only have the right to choose whether to eat it or not. If you don't eat it, next time I'll cook the dish you hate the most. Anyway, our family is out of money now. If you don't eat, then don't expect to have pocket money to buy snacks. You'll just have to starve. You guy, when someone is being nice to you, what are you supposed to say? Bai Qiu pursed his lips and obediently said to me, Thank you, Uncle Xiao Yu. I couldn't help but rub the boy's head. You're welcome. Kids obviously like it a lot, but they just have to pretend they don't. So dishonest with their feelings. But that denial is also kind of cute. You don't need to cook separately for him in the future. The children of the Bai family aren't that picky about their food. Bai Qiu nodded repeatedly, acting like he was exactly that kind of kid. I am exactly that kind of kid, while protectively hugging his head. Kids not being picky is their business. Adults wanting to spoil them is the adult's business. Could it be that Xiao Qiu can't resist this level of pampering, but that will spoil the boy? Of course not. How could you become weak just because of a little food? Then it's going to be tough for Xiao Qiu to endure his uncle's sugar-coated bullets. Whenever I see a cute kid, I have absolutely zero resistance. Since there's a kid in the house now, I can finally try making kids meals. Thanks for the help. Don't mention it. Bai Ningbing took in the interaction between the two of them. She didn't say anything more about not letting me make kids meals. The three of them started eating. During the meal, Baichiayu ate noticeably faster than in my memories. 150,000 isn't enough for food. Do you know how many people don't even make 10,000 a month? 150,000 is a lot. 150,000 is only enough to buy 2 watches. A lot. Before, when you ate a bowl of shark fin soup, how much did that cost? What does it matter to us if other people make less than 10,000? Are we supposed to live like them? Sigh. I didn't expect being broke to be this scary. It was clear the boy really enjoyed today's meal. After eating, I went to wash the dishes as usual. Bai-Q was even more surprised. You actually know how to do chores? Looks like we really are out of money. Can't be helped, that's life. Ups and downs always come when you least expect them. So, you have to study hard, kiddo. Otherwise, you won't have any food to eat in the future either. I am ranked first in my grade, you know. My school is one of the best in the country. I am participating in a competition this semester. The teacher said I could win first prize. Oh right. The first prize for the competition comes with a lot of money. I think it's 50,000 yuan. Then we'll have money for food. Rich kids really have it good. Going to an elite school, even an elementary school academic competition, has such high prize money. You can participate in a few more competitions. Before, Auntie was afraid it would affect your studies, so she didn't let you. But I guess it's fine now. If you participate in 4 competitions, you might just earn 200,000 yuan, then we'll have money to eat. Wait a minute. I absolutely don't have that much time. If I want to maintain my grades, I think I can only participate in 3 competitions. Then that's only 150,000. That's not even enough for food. It can turn someone who loves spending money into this. And he actually thinks 150,000 is a lot. It hasn't even been that long since Auntie went broke. This is called adapting to your circumstances. When you have money, you can spend it however you want. When you don't, of course you have to save. Even if you don't want to save. Even if you actually earn 150,000, you can't blow it all on food. Our standard of living has dropped. The quality of our meals naturally has to drop with it. But hey, even if you eat my normal cooking every day, you won't get malnourished, rest assured. That sounded really discouraging. Bai Ningbing held a glass of water, walked over on her long legs, and glanced at Bai Q. It's time to do your homework. I am going right now. After saying that, the boy made a provocative gesture at me behind Bai Ningbing's back. I then turned to bother Bai Ningbing. How is the boy sleeping tonight? Is he sleeping with you? I'll look for another place another day. She had originally arranged for Bai Chiayu to attend an activity during the holidays, but unexpectedly, the boy refused to go and had to be brought back. I was getting anxious about buying a house that I mentioned before. What do you think? I sold some more watches and clothes these past few days. The down payment definitely won't be a problem. Besides, if Xiao Q is staying here for the holidays, let's buy a 3-bedroom apartment. I have my royalties now, so I can pay the mortgage. You don't need to worry about the money. I was afraid the eldest miss would worry about not having enough money and end up choosing a lesser house. The two of them had nothing left to say, so they went about their own business. With a kid in the house, the atmosphere instantly became full of life, especially since Bai Chiu wasn't a timid child. During the day, Bai Ningbing had to go to work, leaving only me and Bai Chiu at home. At first, we both minded our own business. Later on, it got too boring. Bai Chiu would occasionally run out to stretch and would strike up a conversation with me. He was just a kid after all. Although sensible, he still couldn't hide his true nature. When he realized I had truly changed into a different person and saw that I didn't treat him badly, Bai Chiu was no longer as cold to me as he was at first. Why don't you divorce my aunt? My aunt is really out of money, although I find this whole thing pretty weird too. Broke is broke. If you keep following her, she won't be like before, giving you lots of money to spend. You just said yourself that she gave me a lot of money to spend before. So, shouldn't I help her get through this difficult time now? If I left right now, wouldn't that make me a scumbag? Do you want me to leave your aunt so she has to raise you all by herself? Then you'd be all alone. You wouldn't even have anyone to cook for you. That's not the point. I wouldn't starve to death. Although I don't know what exactly happened to you, it seems like right now, you're not that bad of a person. I always hated you before. You felt like besides shopping, you didn't know how to do anything. Auntie marrying you was like bringing home an automatic card swiping machine. But back then, Auntie had a lot of money, so she didn't care about that little bit of pocket change. It was just a bit of a pity. She could have married a better husband, but looking at it now, you're not that bad. When my parents were alive, they told me, you can't judge a person just by their appearance. You have to look at their character and their heart. Although your talents aren't that outstanding, you don't run away when things get tough, and your character is decent. I couldn't help but rub the boy's head. You little rascal. You sure think a lot. These aren't things you need to worry about. Your job is just to study happily every day. You don't need to worry about my studies. He told you, he always rank first. Don't compare someone like me to those other kids you've met. I am a member of the high IQ club, you know. I pulled back the tangerine I was about to hand to the boy and popped a slice into my own mouth. I looked at Bai Q with a teasing smile. Did I tell you yet? I graduated from a prestigious university. 2. Your uncle is pretty smart himself. I graduated from a top-tier, prestigious university. You know, the reason I married your aunt, and even turned into someone who only knew how to shop and spend money, was all for a reason. Now I've figured things out. I'm back to normal. Got it? I handed the tangerine to Bai Qiu. Just as Bai Qiu was about to take it, I pulled my hand back, making Bai Qiu grab at empty air. Are you going to give it to me or not? I pursed my lips and smiled. This time I actually handed it to him. Here. Eat up. Let's have wontons for lunch, okay? I am getting a little hungry anyway. Make a lot. I guarantee it'll stuff your little young master's belly full. I saved the text file, stood up, and got ready to cook. Bai Qiu watched me walk into the kitchen. His eyes carried an emotion that even he didn't recognize. It was called attachment. Ever since his parents passed away, he had never experienced a life so full of such warm family atmosphere again. Before, living in Bai Ningbing's villa, although he never had to worry about food or clothes, and Bai Ningbing treated him very well, it didn't feel like living at all. The boy's heart had never truly felt at peace. Now, I cared for him every day. My attitude was incredibly natural. When the boy talked to me, it felt like talking to family. It didn't matter what he said. The boy once again felt like he had a home. He seemed to understand now. Auntie was no longer as cold to this man as before. Bai Ningbing could feel it too. Bai Qiu was getting more and more comfortable around me. At night, when asked how his day at home was, Bai Qiu would usually express it. He often showed that he was living very happily. Today during dinner, I suddenly suggested that since I was free these next 2 days, and Xiao Qiu had been cooped up at home for so long, not going anywhere, how about I take him to the amusement park tomorrow? Bai Ningbing's hand paused as she picked up food. I clearly saw that when Bai Qiu heard my words, his whole body tensed up. She was probably thinking back, realizing that Bai Qiu had been home for 5 days already, and still hadn't stepped out the door. All right, I'll rearrange my work schedule for tomorrow. I opened my mouth, feeling incredibly helpless but unable to say a word. Actually, I wanted to say. I originally planned to take Bai Qiu out by myself. However, since the eldest Miss Bai wanted to go, I couldn't really refuse. On the contrary, Bai Qiu's eyes lit up. The smile in his eyes was plain to see. He gave me a bright smile. Thank you, Uncle Xiaoyu, and thank you, Auntie. Auntie. If you don't have time, I can just go with Uncle Xiaoyu. I forgot. Amusement parks on weekends are insanely crowded. In my past life, I had never been to an amusement park. It was also because Beiqi had been so well behaved these past few days, but could only stay cooped up in the house, and the novel just happened to reach the amusement park arc, so I remembered to take the kid out to play. Thinking about how Bai Qiui's parents passed away when he was only 6, Bai Ningbing probably never thought about taking him to places with toys. I couldn't help but feel sympathy for this little guy. The next day, Bai Qiu woke up very early. The boy woke up and turned his head to look outside. It wasn't fully light out yet. He turned his head back to look inside the room, at his own little alarm clock. It wasn't even 6 o'clock yet. Lately, Bai Ningbing usually woke up at 6. Then she would wake the boy up. He lay there, not daring to make any sudden movements. Afraid of waking Bai Ningbing, Bai Gu felt that living here, compared to his life back then, and compared to living in that old villa, was much better than having a huge bedroom all to himself. Here, for the first time, the boy felt truly close to Bai Ningbing. He had always been close to her, but never to the point where there was no distance at all. Since moving here, living this kind of life, he sometimes had the illusion that he was still living with his parents, but he liked this illusion. Are you awake? Bai Go jumped in surprise. Turning around, he saw Bai Ningbing sitting up, looking over at him, though her face remained expressionless. Having just woken up, she had a lingering trace of lethargy, making her look a bit softer than she did during the day. Yes, I just got up. The boy quickly scrambled out of bed, grabbed his clothes from the side, and started pulling them on. Bai Ningbing had no intention of helping him. Children of the Bai family had to be independent from a very young age. Stepping out of the bedroom, the two of them instinctively walked softly, then went into the bathroom to wash up. In the mirror above the sink, the two of them looked somewhat alike, both with beautiful faces, as they brushed their teeth in unison. Auntie, should I go wake up Xiao Wu? No need. He'll get up on his own. I usually wake up at 6 a.m. anyway. Then he'll cook. They usually go back to their rooms to do their own thing. But Auntie, it's a lot of work for Xiao Wu to cook all the time. How about we go out to eat today? Are you trying to say he works too hard cooking for us? Alright, I think we aren't so poor that we can't afford a meal out. Xiao Wu doesn't need to cook every single day. That's just his lifestyle. Then, seeing Bai Gu's thoughtful expression, she grabbed him by the back of his collar and hauled him back to the bedroom to read. Just as they entered the room, I opened my door and waddled out. The story took less than 10 minutes to finish. Bai Go seemed to have listened very intently. He gave me a respectful critique. Xiao Wu, your Mandarin is actually quite standard. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Were you even listening to the story? I know Cinderella is a classic, and you've probably heard or seen it before, but as the sages say, reviewing the old to learn the new, you should have gained some fresh insight from it. You're right, but I've thought about this story many times already. There's nothing left to ponder. The girls in my class are all moved by the romance between Cinderella and the prince, but under my auntie's guidance, I realized that Cinderella was the daughter of a count after all, so she was still a match for the prince. So, this is just a story about a socially equal match that went through some ups and downs before finally reaching a happy ending. I chuckled. Not bad. Then tell me, if you were Cinderella, living in a family like that, what would you do? Would you just kindly endure the stepmother's abuse, find a way to tattle to your father, or fight back on your own? Tattling to the father definitely wouldn't work. If he actually cared about her, Cinderella wouldn't have been mistreated for so long. Fighting back openly isn't a good idea either. If it's too obvious, she'd be labeled as disrespectful to her elders, and once her reputation is ruined, she'd never be able to marry well. She couldn't run away either. A girl leaving home would also ruin her reputation, and no one would want to marry her. So, the only thing she could do was endure. You're so young, yet you think things through so thoroughly. In your opinion, was Cinderella's fate already sealed? Of course not. It might look like endurance was the only option, but there's actually a lot that could be done. For example, the issue of reputation. Treating an elder poorly is wrong, but for a stepmother to mistreat a stepchild like that is also wrong. The stepmother has 2 biological daughters of her own. She has to consider that. If her own reputation is bad, would anyone even want to marry her daughters? Bai Ningbing sat in the driver's seat, watching the two in the back through the rearview mirror. Hearing Bai Gao say these things, she gave a slight, almost imperceptible nod. I was stunned by the logic of this 8-year-old child. So you're saying Bai Gu's reasoning makes sense? I scratched my head. The car pulled into the parking lot. Once the car came to a full stop, Bai Gao was the first to jump out. The boy's excitement was impossible to contain. I hurried out and grabbed his hand, carefully instructing him, in a place like this, it's already crowded enough, but today is especially packed. And since you're this cute, you're exactly the type human traffickers look for. So you must hold onto my hand or your aunt's. Stay close to us at all times. If anything feels wrong, scream for us immediately, okay? Don't worry, Xiao Vu. I am not stupid. It'll definitely stick close to you and auntie. A child's strength is no match for an adult's. If someone tries to snatch you, resisting won't do much. My teacher already taught us that, so I won't wander off, okay? This kid is really sensible. It puts us at ease. The 3 of us walked toward the main gate. Since I had bought the tickets in advance, we just needed to print them out. Compared to the massive line at the ticket booth, we had it much easier, stepping through the gates. The inside was bustling with people coming and going. Bai Ningbing and I are the type of people who, just by standing in a crowd, attract everyone's attention as a handsome man and a beautiful woman. As we walked in, it was no surprise that we drew stares from everyone around us. A few people even looked like they wanted to come over and introduce themselves. But when they saw Bai Go being led by the hand by the 2 of us, they immediately stopped in their tracks. Look at that young couple with their kid over there. They look so good together. At first glance, I thought some celebrities were out on the town. Too bad they're both already taken. Otherwise, I would have gone up to ask for a number. I'm just saying, is it that all the handsome guys in this world are already with beautiful women? Is that why an ugly girl like me can't find a handsome guy? This is so heartbreaking. How do you even have the mind to think about that? All I see is that the little boy with them is so adorable, and he looks so well behaved. 2. I wish I could have a son like that later. Wake up already. You and your husband don't have the genes for that, so don't expect a handsome son. Hearing those girls gossip made me want to laugh. It's a pity Bai Go isn't he my biological son. Otherwise, I'd be smiling in my sleep. What should we play first? That depends on what you want to play. I think the roller coaster and bumper cars are both good. Are you interested? I've never been to an amusement park myself, so those are the only rides I know. Bai Gu hesitated for a moment, looking at the roller coaster tracks in the distance, then decided, then let's ride the roller coaster. Alright, roller coaster first, then bumper cars later. The roller coaster area is packed. It's either parents with kids or couples. I didn't even wait for Bai Ningbing to move. I instinctively went to the back of the line to wait. I waved to Bai Go and Bai Ningbing. I'll wait in line here. If you 2 are tired, go over there and rest. The way the people around us looked at us immediately changed. A girl nearby couldn't help but feel envious, saying to her boyfriend, a top-tier handsome guy like that is actually willing to stand in line just so his wife and kid can go rest. I am dying of jealousy. What's that supposed to mean? Do you have a problem with our current situation? I just see that handsome guy waiting in line. Why don't you look at how beautiful his wife is? Besides, she's wearing all designer brands. Her whole outfit must cost at least 50,000 yuan. If I had that kind of money, I'd just hire someone to stand in line for me. That handsome guy must have something wrong with his head, or his status at home is just too low. If I had his looks, I'd never settle for a woman who doesn't love me like that. The man let it slip, bluntly speaking his mind, which earned him a hard kick to the leg from his girlfriend. What did you just say? Say that one more time if you're so brave. No, I was just talking nonsense. Just a joke. You have such a great personality. How could you ever do something so classless? Bai Go pulled on Bai Ningbing's hand. The boy had heard everything. There was no way his aunt hadn't heard it too. Is it really okay to let Xiao Wu wait in line by himself? Didn't your teacher tell you about equality between men and women? For this ride, hell wait in line. And for the next ones, well, each take a turn. That includes you? Bai Gao breathed a sigh of relief. So she wasn't just trying to exploit Xiao Wu's labor. He didn't like Gu Xiaowu before. That's true, but now he sees me in a different light. If it were the old Gu Xiaowu, the boy wouldn't have cared how much Bai Ningbing mistreated him, but the current Gu Xiaowu. If Bai Ningbing mistreats him, the boy will feel bad for him. The current Xiao Wu is just so good. The women around, some married, some not, just kept on, shifting the conversation to completely irrelevant topics. Bai Go didn't want to listen to their nonsense anymore. He pulled Bai Ningbing over to a nearby bench to sit, since Gu Xiaowu wouldn't be waiting in line forever. There was no reason to feel guilty anymore. After all, everyone would have to work just as hard later. After waiting for a while, it was finally the three of theirs turn. Bai Gao, naturally, sat in the middle. Bai Ningbing and I sat on either side. Even after sitting down on the roller coaster, there were still people preoccupied with staring at them, constantly turning their heads back to look. This made Gu Xiaowu feel quite awkward, but when he turned to look at Bai Ningbing, he saw the eldest miss of the Bai family sitting there, as if she were sitting in her office, still radiating an overwhelming aura of nobility, seemingly completely unaffected. Then he looked over at Bai Go, who was completely ignoring everyone around him, being his large, round eyes, excitedly checking his safety equipment, and didn't forget to remind Gu Xiaowu, "Xiaowu, check if your seatbelt is fastened tight." I replied and checked it again. Everything was fine. It's fine. Don't worry. After saying that, I looked at Bai Ningbing again. The eldest miss was still sitting there with total composure, seemingly unbothered by any of this. I suddenly felt very curious. With a thrilling ride like a roller coaster, would the eldest miss react as intensely as a normal person? Or even on a roller coaster, could she remain perfectly still? I have to observe her closely in a moment, having decided that. From the moment the roller coaster started moving, I kept my attention fixed on Bai Ningbing. First, the car moved very slowly, gradually climbing up the tracks. Seeing that we were about to reach the peak, my heart felt like it was in my throat. The most critical moment was about to begin. A second before the car reached the top, the eldest Miss Bai Ningbing sat on the roller coaster, as if she were sitting in her office, still radiating that overwhelming, high-class aura, seemingly completely unaffected. Look at Bai Gao. The boy was completely ignoring the people around him, being his big, round eyes, excitedly checking his safety gear, and didn't forget to remind Gu Xiaowu. "Xiaowu, check again to see if your seatbelt is tight. Don't be careless, check it again. Is there any problem?" "No problem. Don't worry." After saying that, I looked back at Bai Ningbing. The eldest miss sat there with extreme calm, sitting there with extreme calm, seemingly unbothered by these things. I suddenly became very curious. On a ride as intense as a roller coaster, would the eldest miss have a strong reaction like a normal person? Or even on a roller coaster, could she remain perfectly motionless? I have to watch her carefully in a bit. Having made up my mind, I started from the moment the coaster took off. I kept focusing my attention on Bai Ningbing. First, the car moved very slowly, gradually ascending the tracks. Seeing that we were almost at the top, my heart started racing. The most intense moment was about to start. A second before the car reached the peak, Bai Ningbing finally deigned to move her hands and grip the safety bar, but the expression on her face didn't change at all. She still stared straight ahead with the same indifference as before. The next second, the car began its plunge from the peak. It plummeted straight down, the speed getting faster and faster. My own tolerance is decent. It wasn't to the point of being unbearable. Little Bai Go was nothing but pure excitement, not showing a hint of fear. All sorts of screams erupted around us. Some were thrilled, others were terrified. Only Bai Ningbing, despite the wind blowing and tossing her hair, showed no reaction other than a slight furrow of her brow. It was as if she wasn't even on a roller coaster. I felt the heavy wind whipping against my face, and as the car shook violently, I felt like I was losing control. The constant shaking made it feel like everything was spinning out of control. I glanced at the person next to me, even though we were swaying side to side. And even when we were upside down, she remained calm. Even when we were looping, she didn't lose her composure. I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe in my heart. The eldest miss really does maintain her calm. The eldest miss really does maintain her calm, just like she does every day. What's the point of sitting like that? If you ride a roller coaster like this, where's the fun? Where's the fun in riding a roller coaster like this? The roller coaster track wasn't that long. All in all, it only lasted a few minutes. All in all, it only lasted a few minutes. By the time the car slowly came to a stop, the screams around us had faded away. The screams around us had faded away. The excitement on Bai Gu's face hadn't vanished yet. The excitement on Bai Gu's face hadn't vanished yet. I just kept looking at Bai Ningbing. I just kept looking at Bai Ningbing. Even though her hair was a bit messy. Even though her hair was a bit messy. It couldn't hide her elegance. It couldn't hide her elegance. Was that fun? Xiaowu? Last time I came, I was actually scared. Last time I came, I was even a bit afraid. Last time I came, I was even a bit afraid. This time, I really wasn't scared at all. I think I am super brave. I think I am super brave. As soon as his feet touched the solid ground. As soon as his feet touched the solid ground. Bai Go immediately grabbed Gu Xiao's arm. Bai Go immediately grabbed Gu Xiao's arm. He spoke with excitement. But unfortunately, after taking just one step, he almost tumbled to the ground. I quickly caught the boy. I myself didn't dare to make any sudden movements. Right? 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 Our Xiao Gao is the bravest. Only 8 years old, and you already dare to ride the roller coaster. I was actually pretty scared. You're much better than I am. Back in middle school, I was scared to death on the roller coaster. I even cried a bit. Back then, the park near my house had just installed a roller coaster. It was a rare holiday break, and my parents were free, so they took me to try it once. During the entire ride, I didn't dare to open my eyes once. When I got off, I just slumped onto the ground. I cried right then and there. I was still young back then, and I had never experienced anything so stimulating. It was just too much for me as a kid. So, you're really a coward, huh? I've been riding since before I was 6 and I never cried. Don't worry. In the future, if you're scared of anything, just hold my hand. With me by your side, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Alright? Then thanks Xiao Gao in advance. He really is a little angel. Such warm words, combined with that adorable expression. My heart is just melting. What should we play next? Bumper cars. Yeah, let's do bumper cars. That's what Xiao Wu wants to play. Wait, I want to. Playing bumper cars? Since when? This is ridiculous. I never said I wanted to play. I was just suggesting it earlier. If you didn't want to play, then why did you suggest it? Adults can play bumper cars too, right? I really didn't want to play bumper cars. The only reason I suggested it was because I couldn't think of anything else to do at the moment. I've never even been to an amusement park before. Before I could even explain, Bai Ningbing grabbed Bai Gau's other hand and stepped forward. Bai Gao followed her lead, dragging me along as I stumbled after them. These two clearly didn't believe that I didn't want to play bumper cars, and they didn't give me a single chance to explain. To be honest, at this point, if I seriously tried to explain that I didn't want to play, would those two think I was just trying to save a bit of face? I thought about it for 2 minutes and came to a very certain conclusion, whether I want to or not. I am playing bumper cars today. The bumper car area was clearly less crowded than the roller coaster, so Bai Ningbing told Bai Go to get in line. The little guy stood in line, attracting many admiring, sparkling gazes. There was a little girl nearby crying her eyes out, and her father was trying to comfort her, but she just wouldn't stop. But the moment she saw Bai Go, her crying stopped instantly. She squirmed out of her father's arms, ran straight to Bai Gu's side, under everyone's watchful eyes. Without any hesitation, she grabbed Bai Gu's hand, bet her eyes, and said cutely, "Big brother, let's play together." The girl was about 5 years old, only reaching Bai Gu's shoulder. "Be a good girl, don't cry anymore. Aren't we all here to play bumper cars? Of course we can play together in a bit. There are plenty of cars in the arena." Well, play together. Mom, Dad, I want to play with this big brother. I like him. Alright, then Daddy will go wait in line for you kids. Gu Taiwu watched the little girl pulling Bai Gu's hand, her little mouth chattering away non-stop. A comforting smile appeared on Bai Gu's face, occasionally responding or nodding to show he was listening. The two children were chatting very happily. He's so young and already knows how to charm girls. Imagine what hell be like when he grows up. That little girl is quite cute, isn't she? Xiao Go is just being polite. Don't you see how disjointed her topics are? 1 second it's my doll has huge eyes. The next it's my parents took me to a movie earlier. Some of her logic is all over the place. Only our Xiao Gao would have the patience to keep talking to her. It's like he's babysitting. Boys usually have zero interest in those topics. Sure enough, less than 2 minutes later, a slightly chubby little boy approached Bai Gao and the girl, trying to join their conversation. The girl looked annoyed and turned her head away, ignoring him, only wanting to talk to Bai Gao. Bai Gao nodded to the boy but continued to entertain the girl. Yet he had no intention of bringing the boy into the conversation at all. The boy probably realized these two didn't want to play with him, so he dejectedly went back to his parents. Alright, he really is just humoring the girl. When it was finally our turn, Bai Gao convinced the girl to go back to her parents. After that, Bai Go decisively pulled me and Bai Ningbing along, quickly hopping into a car to start playing. But looking at the way the kid was driving, there was absolutely no sign that he intended to wait for that girl to play with him. The best part about bumper cars is being able to crash into each other. My driving skills are average, but here, there's absolutely nothing to fear. After all, these cars are meant for crashing. Bai Gu would occasionally charge over and ram into me. Other people around us saw how beautiful Bai Ningbing was and intentionally steered their cars toward her, even trying to find ways to strike up a conversation. Bai Ningbing's driving here was as if she were intentionally practicing her maneuvers. She dodged perfectly every single time, not letting anyone else's car even touch hers. She didn't give them a single chance, leaving me watching in sheer admiration. Later, when she realized others were trying to hit her on purpose, Bai Ningbing started actively outmaneuvering them. Those who tried to crash into Bai Ningbing couldn't even graze the edge of her car. Instead, they were the ones sent scurrying by her counterattacks. So, that crowd turned their sights on me and Xiao Gao. Eventually, Bai Ningbing intentionally left an opening to lure them away. The The bumper car session finally came to an end. I immediately followed the staff's instructions and drove the car over. I got out without a single shred of regret. I never want to play this game again in my life. Xiao Go finished the game, fuming with rage. As soon as he got out, he grabbed me and started complaining. Those people are so incredibly rude. They don't even know us, yet they kept ramming into us head on. Crashing is one thing, but they use so much force. My head hurts from all the impact. I was actually planning to go save you, uncle, but I ended up getting knocked off course by them, and there were so many other kids charging at me. The more they hit me, the more I spun out. It's so frustrating. It wasn't quite that exaggerated. It's mostly because you're just too cute, just like that girl earlier. They did it because they like you. They wanted to play with you. The other kids driving must have liked you too. That's why they crashed into you just to interact with you. Then did they crash into you because you're handsome, uncle? Well, I am pretty handsome, but my skills are also pretty lacking. Little auntie managed to dodge the entire crowd. Oh, right? Later on, she seemed to help you break out of the encirclement too. Thinking back to Bai Ningbing's performance just now, Bai Go didn't say another word and grabbed Bai Ningbing's hand. His face was full of admiration. Little auntie, you're so amazing. You have to teach me. There were so many people trying to hit you earlier, but not a single one succeeded. About that. Thank you. Bai Ningbing indifferently nodded at me. Then, without any mercy, she said to Bai Gao, you're still young, you're short, and you can't even reach the gas and brake pedals properly. So don't overthink it. Just eat more and grow taller first, then we'll talk. In life, there are always things that are beyond our control. Like height, for example. Bai Gau's face slumped immediately. He wasn't even short for his class, but at the end of the day, he was still just a kid. How could he possibly compare to an adult? It's okay. When you grow up, you'll definitely be even better than your little auntie. Don't worry. However, you should drink a glass of milk before bed every night. I'll prepare it for you from now on. You need to drink plenty of milk to grow tall. Even if you can't be as tall as an adult right away, at least you should be the tallest among your peers. So, what should we play next? I slightly regretted not looking up a guide before coming here. Just as I was thinking, a little boy walked past us, holding his parents' hand, looking incredibly excited. The pirate ship. I want to go on the pirate ship. I turned to ask Bai Go, do you want to go on the pirate ship? Sure, why not? I want to try everything. I pulled out the map to check. The pirate ship happened to be right ahead, not far from here. Let's go then. We hurried over to the pirate ship, just in time. The previous group was getting off. It was time for the next group to board. Their timing was perfect. However, based on the queue order, after boarding, they ended up in the very last row. It's definitely going to swing wildly later. Bai Go was still beyond excited. Bai Ningbing remained calm as ever. I, on the other hand, felt a bit of a chill down my spine. I've never played this before. In TV dramas, whenever the main characters play this, they always end up throwing up afterwards. Even though I am just a background character, physical reactions don't discriminate. Xiao Vu, why are you holding my hand so tight? It really hurts. Sorry, I am just a little excited. I was too embarrassed to admit I was nervous. I just claimed to be excited. When I let go, Bai Gu's hand was already red. I felt terrible about it. Are you okay? Does it hurt a lot? It's fine. I am okay. But you didn't have to be that excited, uncle. Switch places with him. Bai Ningbing suddenly blurted out. Both of us were stunned. Why? To balance the weight, Bai Go and I looked over. They were sitting on the far left. The right side was full of adults, while children sat in the middle. At a glance, the weight on this side did seem to be quite different from the right. All right. Bai Gao stood up and swapped seats with me. Now, I was sitting in the middle, while Bai Go and Bai Ningbing sat on my right and left, respectively. I had just finished fastening my seatbelt. I had just finished securing the safety bar, when my left hand was firmly grabbed by Bai Ningbing, and Bai Gu on my right immediately grabbed my right hand as well. One big, one small. The two of them each took one of my hands. It gave me the feeling, as if I were being protected by the two of them. This feeling was truly touching. The pirate ship began to move, its swings growing wider. Many people started screaming in rhythm. Fortunately, it was much better than I expected, though it was a bit thrilling. It wasn't that scary. I don't think I am going to puke. I knew it. A cannon fodder like me doesn't get the main character treatment. I don't have a fragile body to act spoiled with. The pirate ship swayed for a while. Then the momentum gradually slowed down. He felt Bai Ningbing's hand loosen its grip on mine. By the time the pirate ship came to a complete stop, both hands let go. Xiao Vu, you're quite brave. You didn't vomit or cry. You're much better than I expected. I was only a bit worried at first, not actually scared. But I couldn't just say that out loud, so I just replied, that's right, I am an adult. After all, you were also better than I expected. Kid, well done. Even plenty of adults are cowards, like that person over there, Bai Go said while pointing toward a trash can. Next to it, someone was holding a plastic bag. A woman was throwing up violently. Look, uncle, she's puking so hard. I looked in the direction the kid was pointing. The woman looked quite beautiful. Even while vomiting, she maintained a minimum level of grace. More importantly, her aura wasn't affected at all. The nearby staff rushed over to check on her. The woman slightly raised her head. I caught a glimpse of her face by chance. I felt like that beauty looked somewhat familiar, but no matter how hard I thought, I couldn't remember where I'd seen her. Don't point at people so casually, and never judge someone you don't know. Bai Ningbing pressed Bai Gu's hand down, her tone carrying a hint of a lecture. Bai Gao immediately pulled his hand back. He nodded obediently. Let's not worry about others. Let's go. It's been over 2 hours. Are you hungry, kid? Are you thirsty? I opened Bai Gu's backpack and handed it over, gesturing for him to see what he wanted to eat. Then I took off the backpack I was wearing, opened it, and took out a baby bottle to give to him. Thank you, Uncle Xiaovu. You and Auntie should eat too. Eating snacks in front of the eldest miss of the Bai family, and even inviting her to join in. This is quite a challenge. I was hesitating. Bai Ningbing took both backpacks from my hands. She held them both. Eat whatever you want. She actually didn't scold me. I was a bit flustered. I was a little surprised, thinking that maybe it was because we were out having fun. I should just take the chance to eat. I took out some cookies and potato chips, and even grabbed a bottle of Coke. I just wanted to have some snacks. Nothing I can do about it. Bai Ningbing looked at the items in my hand but said nothing. When Bai Gao was about to speak, she shot him a glance, causing his words, "I want some Coke too," to die in his throat. After eating for a bit, I noticed Bai Ningbing hadn't touched the snacks at all. Is she just being shy? Do you want some, Miss Bai? Actually, these snacks aren't that bad. Besides, the additives are all within safe limits. Plus, since you never usually eat them, it's fine to have a little once in a while. It's not that serious. You won't get sick just from eating them once. You eat them. Bai Ningbing didn't flatly refuse me, but her meaning was crystal clear. I had to eat my portion alone. But I asked one more thing. Then do you want some water? I have some mineral water here. Next time, buy the bottled water from that other brand. I was speechless, sighing inwardly. The wealthy lady is out of money, yet she still insists on a specific brand of water. I don't know what the difference is between this water and that one. A bottle that costs dozens of yuan. Is it really better than the 2 or 3 yuan ones? Isn't it all just mineral water? After resting for a bit, Bai Gao wanted to see a movie. The three of us headed to the animation theater. On the way, Bai Gu's little mouth never stopped chattering. The last time I came here, I was promised see a movie. But my parents were in such a rush that we couldn't. I want to see if the cartoons here are any different from the ones in regular theaters. I finally have the chance today. My classmate said the movies here are better, so I am really curious. How different could it really be? It's probably just a difference in mindset. I bet the kid is going to be disappointed later. I shook my head inwardly. The downside of a child being too smart is that nothing ever surprises them, because everything is within their expectations. Sure enough, I was right. Bai Gao was quite excited when we first entered, but he got bored after watching for a while. The kid dragged me and Ningbing out. As soon as we stepped out, he started grumbling. This movie is no different from regular ones. I wasted all that anticipation for nothing. It's all a scam. My classmate definitely tricked me into coming here to waste time. How annoying. Just wait until I get to school. I'll deal with him. You can't really say that. Maybe that little friend of yours actually thought it was really good. Everyone has different tastes. I was really afraid the kid would go confront him, only for the other kid to say, I watched it with my parents, so I thought it was great. That would really be rubbing salt in the kid's wound. True, mediocrity is just mediocrity. To think someone could actually find this stuff good. As a result, Bai Ningbing gave him a light flick on the head. Watch your words. Speaking ill of others behind their backs is very rude. Yes, ma'am. The kid rubbed the back of his head where he was flicked. His disdainful expression vanished instantly, turning back into a cute, obedient boy, but his eyes looked a bit strange. I asked, what are you thinking about? Sigh, I was just thinking that if someone finds this kind of movie good, then that classmate must have never seen anything truly high quality before. I was left jaw dropped in less than 3 seconds. With just one flick on the head from Bai Ningbing, this kid had already taught himself how to shade someone with such sophistication. Is this really okay? I turned to look at Bai Ningbing in a daze. Bai Ningbing didn't seem to notice at all. She patted Bai Gu's head, even with a hint of praise. Wait a minute. Is it really okay to teach a child this kind of trick? The kid obviously knew exactly what he was doing. Doing that would make the other kids look down on that classmate. And it conveniently left that classmate suffering in silence. He did it on purpose. Xiao Yu, don't worry. I am a good kid who loves my friends. I could only force a smile. We're done playing anyway. Look at the time. It's past 11. It's almost noon. Should we go grab something to eat? Even though I am not that hungry, it's still time for lunch. We can't just keep snacking to fill our stomachs. I want McDonald's. I'd understand if other kids like that stuff. But this kid used to eat nothing but delicacies. Why does he like that too? You know how embarrassing that is for me? I put my heart and soul into cooking every single day, and yet this brat is begging for McDonald's. The eldest miss probably doesn't think that when she's not home, I just half-ass the cooking, right? I just want to try it. The vibe there is totally different from other places. Even if I eat good food every day, it doesn't hurt to switch things up once in a while. Auntie, please let me have it just this once. Eating it once won't hurt. Having fast food occasionally won't make you sick. Besides, let the kid have some fun today. Bei Ningbing just stood there, frozen. I gotta say, Baiju is pretty bold. If it were me, I definitely couldn't pull off grabbing someone like her by the arm and shaking it like that. In the end, Bai Ningbing actually agreed. She took Beiju to eat McDonald's. She even asked if I wanted to eat, or if we should go eat something else. I am fine with whatever. It's been a while since I had McDonald's, so I definitely don't mind. Now that you mention it, I am actually craving it. Since I am tagging along with Beiju today, I might as well eat to my heart's content. Speaking of which, the kid completely forgot. I had promised to do something with Beiju earlier. Xiaoju, didn't you want to go ask about the prices of things in here? Oh, right. Thinking back, that really was the plan when we left the house. The kid immediately let go of our hands and dashed into the shop next door. I hurriedly chased after him. With so many people around, it'd be a disaster if he got lost. By the time Baiju came out of the shop, his face was full of shock and disbelief. The price of a soda is literally double. Oh my god. This is so unreasonable. There's nothing unreasonable about it. It's always been this way. Things at tourist spots are even more expensive. Take a roasted corn on the cob, for example. Normally, it only costs 4 yuan, but at a tourist spot, they can sell it for 10 yuan. Why? Because it's a one-time deal. Tourists leave and never come back for a second time. And the people willing to buy food are mostly those who didn't bring their own. Once they're hungry, they don't care about the price anymore. It's not like they can't afford it, so they just buy it. Food also has overhead costs. Oh, right. There's also the cost issue your aunt mentioned. A single ear of corn isn't expensive. Even roasting it doesn't cost much. But to bring that corn inside to sell, you have to pay extra fees to the tourist spots management. That extra cost definitely gets passed down to the tourists. That's why the prices are higher. So the one making the most money must be the boss of the tourist spot, right? After all, he just needs to build the place, then hire a few managers, and he can rake in a fortune. If you add in the tourist admission fees, that's even more money. As expected of someone born into the Bai family's business environment, this quick thinking is seriously impressive. Thinking back to when I was Baiju's age, I was probably still just messing around. Then you also have to think about how to get the government to grant you the land, and how to raise that much money to build the tourist spot in the first place. Even after that, how do you attract visitors? How do you hire the right management staff? And how do you handle maintenance? You have to think all of this through carefully. It's pretty complicated, but that's okay. I am still young. Once I grow up a bit more, I'll definitely figure it out. They'll cross that bridge when I get there. It's never that easy. I secretly shook my head. The eldest miss was just saying that casually. She wanted Baiju to understand that things aren't that simple when it's actually time to get to work. Who knows how troublesome it'll be? Even someone as formidable as the eldest miss failed. Does she really not understand these principles? It goes to show that sometimes, knowing how something works doesn't mean you can actually do it well, because there are way too many external factors at play. Often, it's not even up to human effort. Take the protagonist. For example, that plot armor luck is just beyond comprehension. After returning home, everything went back to normal. I lived a very disciplined routine, waking up on time to cook, then cleaning the house before starting to write my story. After lunch, I'd clean up and take a nap, waking up in the afternoon to grind out more words. Sometimes I'd look up references to prepare for commissions, for design work. In the evening, after dinner, I'd write and occasionally browse the web, like relaxing and watching a movie. Besides that, I'd set aside time for laundry and deep cleaning the house, and make regular trips to the market for groceries. Of course, I also exercised regularly to stay in shape. If Baiju wanted to, I'd occasionally take the kid out for a walk, like going to a museum or the library to kill time. Bai Ningbing was busy almost every single day. Who knows what she was so busy with? She only showed up for breakfast and dinner. At night, she'd check on what Baiju had been doing all day. As for me taking Baiju out, she didn't say a word. I took that as her accepting our current arrangement. But while peace and quiet is nice, there were still a lot of issues to sort out. Today at breakfast, I brought up the house issue again. Baiju looked at Bai Ningbing. Sleeping at night, the kid always felt so helpless. Because he slept with Bai Ningbing, he didn't dare toss and turn. He really wanted his own room. That way, he could roll around all he wanted at night. I've already looked at houses. We can move in next week, if you want to buy a house. Then the week after next, a pretty good real estate project is opening for sale. We can go check it out then. Bai Ningbing gave her answer. Only then did I feel relieved. It's good that the boss didn't forget about my situation. When next week rolled around, sure enough, Bai Ningbing told me to get ready. We were moving to a new rental. Auntie, does that mean I'll have my own room from now on? I want a bookshelf. The bed doesn't need to be too big. Just big enough to sleep in is fine. While waiting for the moving truck, Baiju's mouth didn't stop chattering. I knew you were the best, Auntie. Xiao Yu. We're moving to a bigger house. Are you excited? Xiao Yu and Baiju, along with Bai Ningbing, moved into the new rental. The three of them started unpacking. Why wouldn't I be excited? Honestly, I didn't feel much. It wasn't my house anyway. Where I lived didn't really make a difference to me. I grew up living in a 2-bedroom apartment. Being an only child, my parents always quietly spoiled me, so I never really craved a massive mansion. If you've never lacked love, and never suffered from a lack of money, plus having a personality that isn't overly competitive, it's hard to have intense material desires. Like, really intense ones. I am the classic example of someone who isn't filthy rich, but actually lives a very happy life. To be completely honest, I actually find small houses convenient and cozy, but coziness is one thing, reality is another. We couldn't just let Baiju keep squeezing in with Bai Ningbing forever. So wasn't this a great thing? I am gonna make money and buy tons of books later. There wasn't even a proper study room here. I've been holding back for so long. This was little Baiju's biggest wish. The house was too small to hold anything, and it was just a rental. Bai Ningbing didn't have it like she did in her old villa, where she had her own private office. When she was free, she had nothing to do, so she was forced to watch those childish cartoons. It was boring to death. I saw you watching cartoons all the time before, though. Turns out you actually like reading that much? I only watched that stuff because I had nothing else to do. I don't even care for those childish cartoons, but the other kids in my class love them. Auntie once said, a person can be smart, but when your actual strength isn't enough yet, you absolutely cannot alienate yourself too far from the masses. Otherwise, when trouble comes, you'll be ostracized. Mother of God, a boss is truly a boss. Baiju is still so little, and the boss is already teaching him such profound life lessons. What else did your aunt say? Auntie also said, you have to treat everything as if it's exactly how it should be. Just now, I shouldn't have acted disgusted just because I am smart, implying that my classmates are stupid, even if I think that deep down. I should forget it. I should forget it and hypnotize myself into believing they're all great. If I had tea in my mouth right now, I definitely would have done a spit take. Impressive. An elementary schooler being taught this kind of stuff. Why do I feel like I was a total idiot when I was a kid? I didn't figure out this logic until high school, and I had to realize it all on my own. That book. Bai Ningbing casually pulled it out from a packed box. She pulled out a book and handed it to Baiju. Baiju obediently took it. He didn't even glance at the cover before opening it to read. Xiao Yu peeked over and happened to see the title. Thick Black Theory. Alright then, the kid of a big shot is destined to become a big shot. A mere mortal like me. Better keep my opinions to myself. The moving truck arrived very quickly, but there wasn't actually that much stuff to move. It wasn't until we actually started packing that I realized. Most of the stuff was actually bought by me, and the majority of it was just daily necessities. Eventually, Baiju couldn't stand watching anymore. He signaled Bai Ningbing to remind me. Only then did I agree to leave those basic items behind, like all the salt, soy sauce, and vinegar. The one thing worth celebrating right now was that pile of clothes that used to take up almost my entire bedroom had all been sold off, so moving was a whole lot easier. The new place was in a different apartment complex, not too far from the old one. The security and surrounding environment were way better than the old place. Walking inside, the apartment's layout was really nice too. With my background in design, I took a stroll around the house. I have to admit, the place Bai Ningbing picked this time is seriously amazing. It was decorated in the most basic style, the minimalist style that I love the most. The black, white, and gray color scheme never goes out of style. It was pleasing to the eye, no matter how you looked at it. Even the furniture they bought matched perfectly. The thing that made me happiest was, there was a swing out on the balcony, so I could sway back and forth while reading a book whenever I wanted. Wow, this house is way nicer than the last one. I love it. I love it too. Bai Ningbing strode forward on her long legs, gesturing to the movers as she walked, directing them to put the furniture in the right spots. She glanced at the big guy and the little guy looking so satisfied. A hint of gentleness flashed in her eyes, but she quickly went back to directing the workers. About an hour later, the movers finished setting everything up and left. I dug out the cleaning rag I had packed earlier and waved Baiju over. Let's start cleaning our new home. You wipe the tables and sweep the floor. Leave the rest to me. No problem. I'll handle the windows and mopping. What about me? This made the two of them. What about me? It made the two of us, who were coordinating so perfectly, freeze in our tracks. Auntie, you're gonna work too? There's no need. Xiao Yu and I are enough. We've got this covered. The idea of his aunt doing chores. The kid had never even considered it. Had never seen it happen before. He couldn't even wrap his head around it. Yeah, exactly. We can handle it. You just go do your own thing. It's been so long, and I've never seen Boss Bay do this kind of work. I have to admit, if I saw Boss Bay doing heavy lifting like this, I'd feel guilty. I'll clean the windows. You two go to something else. She glanced at the floor-to-ceiling balcony windows and assigned herself a task. With that, before I could even open my mouth, she grabbed the other rag right out of my hand. Feeling her fingers accidentally brush against mine, I instinctively shivered. What's wrong? Are you cold? No. I probably just haven't been drinking enough water lately, so I am running a little hot. It's fine. I'll just drink more water over the next couple of days. It definitely wasn't because Boss Bai touched me. I am not made of glass. It's not like I can't be touched. Just cut back on the snacks. that felt like a knife straight to the heart, successfully making my face darken. Hearing this, Baiju, the two of us made sure Bai Ningbing wasn't paying attention. The kid quickly bolted into my bedroom. If he didn't run fast enough, who knows if his aunt would throw a knife right at him. He still wanted his snacks. What I didn't catch was Bai Ningbing turning her back and walking away. The trash bags are changed every day. How could there be that much trash in the house? Zhu Xiaoyu smacked the back of his left hand with his right. How could I forget about that? But Boss Bai leaves early and comes home late, busy all day. And she stays in her bedroom all the time. How does she even have time to notice the trash bags in the living room? Cut back on the snacks and drink more water from now on. Time to get to work. Beiju was wiping the nightstand in the bedroom, completely unaware that Gu Xiaoyu, in a single thought, just because of his aunt's words and actions, had decided to cut his snack rations. If he had known, he probably wouldn't have chosen to bolt at the first sign of trouble and disappear instantly. After bustling around for over an hour, we finally finished cleaning the house. That included Gu Xiaoyu pretending to sweep the floor, quietly watching Bai Ningbing's back. He wasn't going to tell her that he was planning to write Bai Ningbing into his new novel. Who told her to keep nagging him about his snacks? Anyway, there's no original novel in this world using Bai Ningbing, a real-life domineering CEO, as the main character. It's going to be absolutely amazing.